take the cameras off the field, and there'll be no huddle.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on one. Ready, Biller, for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 get. You got cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red, right, 18, Bob on one. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We got exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all we're going to y'all do. Let's go out and kick the tape. All right? 1, 2, 3.
Keep doing what you're doing. Get our guys after him and make the play.
Be right all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, B hand, C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
and Armin Sarian.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
You are looking live at the little scrappy morning show you can't live without. It is the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Drew Olson, Bill Schmid today. Armin Sarian, our station mascot, is out, and Billy is at the con. How do I feel about this? I don't know. Billy, are we on the air? Are we doing okay?
We're on the air. You're not on the video stream. We can figure that out. We can rectify that coming up in a second with that big old iPad rolling on in front of you.
Oh, goodness. I don't know how that works.
You know, I'll tell you, it is, it's fun. It definitely is fun, especially technology, Drew, is great. Man, when it just works the way it's supposed to. But I will feel like the oldest son of a gun in the world every time now that I get back here. I had like a 7-minute battle with a mouse trying to move it into the right window that it was supposed to be. It's on brand though, because mice usually infiltrate my house right around the fall. So it's nice to at least get a little bit of that frustration early on here and get that out of the gates.
Trying to make do without Armin. We realize how valuable he is to the operation. And I can't give him props on X because his account still remains hacked.
Yeah, because there's still no way to go. There's still no way to be able to hit in there.
Yeah.
You fill it real quick and let me figure out that iPad situation for you real quick here.
Yeah.
We'll get that thing rolling.
We can do that because we got plenty to talk to our smart and good looking listeners about. We welcome the early risers, insomniacs, sociopaths, all those people that were waiting, pulling in 15 minutes before the health club opens at 5 a.m. Those folks, those are our P1s. We love them. And we're going to talk a lot about the Brewers and a lovely end to a lovely trip to St. Louis for the Brewers last night. They walloped the Cardinals. And maybe it's an homage to our guy, Armin Sarian. Maybe I am paying like, I didn't intend to do this. We celebrate Armin every day. You know, we love him. Right. And the thing is that Armin has a. Oh, I guess I can get some volume here, Billy.
Even worse. How on earth
made
did
it
that
worse.
happen? I thought I was going to be able to solve the deal, and then ended up making it somehow worse. But now I think we're already set.
All right, tell me what button to hit. So
nope, you're good. I got it.
All right, so Billy and I are both live on the stream, Facebook, X, and YouTube. We started out, you could hear us, but now you can see us. Whether that's on the positive side or not, I'm not entirely sure.
We'll let management decide.
Yeah. But Armin, when he did have his X account, one of his hobbies, he couldn't help himself. He would get into it, and he didn't dodge the smoke with Cubs fans, Bears fans. He invited it. Well, I don't invite anything on social media anymore. All I basically do is pump out the stuff that we're doing to get more eyeballs or to remind our core audience that, hey, we got a show. And
we do have a show. We're ready to roll. We're here.
Basically, we're back to where we were. You know, at one point we were on top of the world and all that. And then now we're back to where we were, banging pots and pans together, trying to get people to notice us.
We're over here, guys.
Hey, in this corner, we're not asking if Matt LaFleur is on the hot seat after signing an extension. Just saying, right? We try to elevate the discourse the way we always have. And what people listen and we love it. And if it's a huge tent, a big tent, we're going to start with what we have and build it. That's what we're going to do. But I don't beyond anything. I'm not in the market. I don't want to argue with randos with fake usernames, people that I don't know and will never encounter. I don't have a stomach for it anymore. I've been doing it too long.
Yep, I'm glad that that's your jam, but that won't be mine and yours. That's where I'm in that camp.
So so basically, I did this podcast with my buddy Jeff Pearlman.
Let's go.
And he mentioned that. He's like, "Yeah, I looked at your social." I'm like, "Yeah, dude, I'm I'm tapped out. I'm done. I don't. There are better things to do in the world than worry about arguing with, some dude who, again, a fake user. And
a lot of times, what could be a promotional account for my business is not going to be promoted very well by me arguing with some random bot in his basement.
So I don't do that as a matter of course. Now, I'm asked to collaborate because Hunter and Armin do a great job of pumping out our little highlights,
for sure,
if you want to call them that, on the Instagram and stuff. And I have this thing where I don't like to look at anything I do. I don't like if I'm in it. I live it. I put it out in the world, and then I'm done.
It's there. I'll let you consume it. I don't need to eat it again.
This TV show I've been doing every week for 15 years. It reruns at night, and sometimes I'm at home and I'll be flipping around like, oh God, get that off.
I'm not watching
myself. I can't do it. You feel too creepy. I'm too critical. I just don't do it. I avoid it. And so these things I get asked to collaborate on Reels on Instagram because Hunter and those guys do that. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll do that because I got to
do it. Let's
promote everything. I got to do what I can.
Come on. Yes.
It is literally the least I can do, which my wife would say that's what I'm best at, is doing the least I can do.
Hit accept. There you go.
The bare minimum. Hit accept. But they ran a clip where I was talking about, the Cardinals looking up at the Brewers, and like I was equating it to, for a decade when the Cardinals kicked sand in the Brewers' faces, they were clearly the better team.
For sure, yes.
It was like the little brother syndrome. It was the varsity against the freshmen. I mean, it was Pujols, Molina, La Russa. It was come on, they couldn't hit Adam Wainwright.
It wasn't much close at that point.
Yeah. Adam Wainwright could pitch all 7 games of a series and probably they'd win all 7 against the Brewers. They just didn't, they weren't in the class. And the tables have turned. Sports and life are cyclical. The Brewers are now the superior outfit and have been for 8 years. And at some point I did that. And I quoted one of the icons of St. Louis, a Missouri Athletic Hall of Famer, my buddy Bernie Miklasz, who I've known for many years and is one of the nicest people. He is easily in my top 5 people that I've met in the business. Like, he's incredible. I remember he and the late Rick Hummel came to town to cover a Cardinal series, and I took them to Left's Lucky Town, 72nd and State Street. Love Lefts. Shout out to our friends in Tosa. We went after a game to have a few pops and unwind and just share each other's company. I loved it when the Brewers played the Cardinals. I got to see those guys.
For sure.
I read them all the time, but I got to read them and be in it and just chop it up with them, and it was a joy. And I dove into one of Bernie's columns yesterday. He has his own independent kind of dealio going. He was a radio titan. He was a lead columnist.
I was going to say, 30 years on the beat, and then
now he's doing it. Now he's doing like his own thing, and he still pumps out the best information you'll find anywhere. And I don't know, it was like the breakdowns we were doing of the amount of money the other teams have won and how the Brewers are doing it on the cheap, and just how dominant the Brewers have been. And I was quoting some of his stats, and I gave him credit because I love Bernie and he does all the work.
And he did a hell of a lot of work to be able to put that legwork together of the billions of dollars that has been spent in the division over the last 8 years.
He's indefatigable. He is he is just a monster for that stuff. And he comes up with numbers that just you don't see anywhere else, and it just drops your jaw. And his daily breakdowns of the Cardinals is better than anything anybody does on any team. So we used some of that information. We were talking about it, and I mentioned how the tables have turned, because when the Brewers were on the rise and it would be mid-season and they were kind of close in the standings, those guys would tell me, yeah, you got a nice thing going there, but you're a couple years away. They're not going to last into August and September. And it's just like, enjoy it, and they were always right.
They were sitting from the perch, and they knew where they had seen what playoff baseball
They could see the difference. They were in it. They could see the difference between the teams. And I kind of said the tables have flipped, and now the Brewers are that team. And somehow our friends in the Ozarks, Matt Vesgersen referred to driving their El Caminos and stuff. Somehow this got
white hot.
They got into their algo.
Oh no.
And all of a sudden I look in these reels that, usually get a couple of likes from my family or from, friends of the show or from listeners. All of a sudden I'm getting smoke from these Jack Waffle Cardinals.
Maybe that's a lot.
Great. Well, what are you going to do? 8 years and not win the World Series? Call us when you win a World Series. Like, I didn't say anything about that. I
think we explicitly said in the video that was posted, the last thing the Brewers have to do is win the World Series.
And then one guy's even like, oh yeah, the franchise highlight is losing a World Series to the Cardinals. I mean, yeah, okay. Yeah, I said in 2011, they ruined one of the Brewers' magical seasons, a 96 win team in 2011, right? And they're just giving me smoke, and it's almost like Bears fans, kind of.
Sure.
It's like they're just they see us as kind of we see the Bears fans like, oh, wake us when you do something. You won a couple regular season games. Congratulations, right? And it's it just I don't have the stomach for it. I'm not interested.
No, and Drew, I guess I'm sitting in Armin's seat, so I have to play a little bit of the role of Armin and take umbrage of us being considered the Bears fans here. But that would be it. It would be almost more like, and I wonder how the rest of the division would look at it. Somewhat of almost like Lions fans. All right, guys, that was cute. You went to the NFC title game one time. All right. Let me know how it is when you host your 5th playoff game in the last 30 years. But for the Brewers against the Cards, what you outlined of what the moments that the Cardinals have taken away from the Brewers, that's one of the reasons why a lot of people thought they were the bigger rival for the Brewers other than instead of the Cubs, of what they did in 82, what they did in 11.
Yeah.
And I think, again, it speaks to the reverence for what the St. Louis Cardinals have been and were for not just my lifetime, for pretty much all of our listeners' lifetimes as well. Like the model franchise in the Midwest. Everybody would shoot to be able to hold what the Cardinals have. And they're rebuilding for the first time in 3 decades. And it's kind of fun to be able to take advantage and win 4 of 5 there over 4 days and capitalize. I think it also, Drew, and let me know what you think here. Too much of it's just like the overemphasis on titles is probably not the right way of saying it, because I don't know how much you can emphasize winning a championship and if you can undersell it or oversell it. But like, it's the only thing and the only conversation starter and ender, it feels like, for some in sports conversation. And it just can't be that way when you're looking at organizational growth.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't just this team in this last 5 years, they've been the most dominant team in all of baseball. No, it was in the division, and that's unarguable with the facts. But we're so hell-bent on titles now in our sports culture that it's like the only way that people can cope with a yes or a no in something in a positive realm or a negative one.
Here's the thing. Now that the Brewers won last night, and they were coming at me yesterday because that's when it hit the ether.
Right there in the middle of the day. They had just won.
They had just won with Kyle Harrison's sore elbow.
And their kids shoving for 6 1/3 for sure.
That's right. And so now that the Brewers won last night pretty emphatically with Rake Bowers hitting the 3-run bomb, they weren't really threatened.
That was a decision.
I think a lot of those fans are going to be like just receding into the hedges like Homer Simpson. They're just going to go away, but they had their moment. Now, again, Bernie posts something every morning. He calls it like breakfast with Bernie.
I like that.
Sometimes it's brunch with Bernie, depending on when he posts.
I was going to say, depending on when he wakes up from the night before.
That's right. But breakfast with Bernie, he's got this STL Sports Central site, which is phenomenal, and it's free.
That's what I'm talking about, Bernie. Okay.
Come on
now. No paywall. That's what we're talking.
He's incredible.
He is a man of the people as well as a brilliant writer. Okay.
He's incredible. But on the morning after, like yesterday morning, when the Cardinals had won their one game of a 5-game series, by the way, a 5-game series, you lose 4 games, you got shellacked.
You got smacked.
In
your own ballpark.
Yeah.
That you also manipulated and moved the game to.
Yeah. You got smacked. And we won't even say anything about the Cardinals and not doing the Brewers a solid and playing a day game on a getaway day, yesterday.
Yeah, that was, come on.
A little bit weak.
What are we doing
the Brewers
here?
Don't have an off day. They're going into Pittsburgh to play tonight. But anyway, this was Bernie's lead to his column after the Cardinals won their lone game of the series, slapping around Kyle Henderson. And this is Bernie in a nutshell. He is like my favorite sports columnist of all time. He and Bill Plaschke are like 1 and 1A.
Okay.
Both of them are the best.
Bill's A1. That's also a hard one to
they're
knock off
incredible.
The throne.
And they're both, and the great thing is they're both incredible human beings. They're the nicest guys. Like, you'd figure like the best guys would be Jagoffs, right? No, they're the nicest, most accommodating, just gracious.
I think you get a lot of Jim Grays in here.
Those guys would they'd be in town and they'd read my lead and they, hey man, you nailed it yesterday. That was really good. Like they give you encouragement. They lift you up. They're the best. Bernie's lead after the Cardinals won the 1 game of the series. Winning is more fun than losing, especially if you are a St. Louis Cardinals team that has repeatedly been beaten upside the head by the Milwaukee Brewers. Yes, winning is generally preferred over losing, though you wouldn't always know it by watching the Cardinals fall down and crack when the Brewers show up at the ballpark.
Oh, damn, Bern.
After losing 7 consecutive games to the awesome team from America's Dairyland, the Cardinals have made a few mental and emotional repairs, got the mojo going, and flew to a 5-1 win over the Crew on Wednesday night at Busch Stadium. After getting slapped around by Milwaukee for far too long, the prideful Redbirds may have remembered the words of iconic Green Bay Packers coach Vince Lombardi. Actually, I don't think the Cardinals thought about Lombardi at all because he was a football coach who passed away in 1970. But please give your boy a break here. I'm just trying to be clever. I also have an authentic Vince Lombardi autograph on my office desk here in the lair. That's what he calls it.
That's what I'm talking about. Okay.
Honestly, I do. And just seeing the great coach's signature is good for a motivational lift. Winning isn't everything, Lombardi told the famous author James Michener. The will to win is the only thing. By the way, how many people in Wisconsin know that quote is not really winning isn't everything, it's the only thing, is not the Lombardi quote. The full quote is the one Bernie has. Mm-hmm. Winning isn't everything. The will to win is the only thing. Then Bernie said, I believe the Cardinals are always determined to win. They're honorable competitors that way, but trying really hard to win doesn't work if you can't pitch effectively or hit with authority. I mean, I'm an example of this. I truly want to write good columns, but I have a problem with swinging and missing. I whiff too often. Yes, a lot of strikeouts. And as a faithful reader, you already know this. Perhaps I should be sent down to Memphis just like Nolan Gorman.
Go and enjoy some barbecue. I was wondering where Nolan Gorman was.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then he said in their 48th home game of the season, the Cardinals had their usual ambition to win, but this time they got the pitching they needed from starter Michael McGreevy. Their combustible bullpen didn't blow up. Their hitters did something truly amazing by putting 5 runs on the Busch Stadium scoreboard. The Birds were fortunate to face Milwaukee starter Kyle Harrison, who toiled through 4 hittable innings with a sore left elbow. Frankly, this was a bigger concern to the Brewers than anything the Cardinals did to them in a rare win over their NL Central overlords.
You inject this right into my veins.
I mean, he's telling it like it is.
And this is in their lone victory, and the morning that a lot of Redbird fans were late, be able to feel some confidence, some excitement, some energy, and instead just get absolutely smacked upside the head.
And so it's, to me, it's like, oh boy, he's just so good. And you're so informed reading his. So then in his last bullet about the game, the proceedings the night before last, he asked a question: can the Cardinals make the best of a series they've already lost by upending the Brewers on Thursday night at Busch? A 2-3 record in a 5-game set against Milwaukee looks and sounds a heck of a lot better than 1-4. Given that the Brewers are clearly the superior team, if the Cardinals finish 2-3 in the series, it's no cause for shame or ridicule. Milwaukee is supposed to win a series like this. The Brewers have more pitching and hitting and speed and more of everything.
Or the everything bagel that you wish you had.
I mean, I don't imagine that Bernie gets a lot of smoke from Cardinals fans telling it like this, because they kind of know in their hearts. Mm-hmm. But when someone from Milwaukee says it, they cape up.
Yeah,
like, it's the facts.
It's almost like that one buddy that we all have that we all know is a jag. But when we can rip on him, but then somebody else points it out, you're like, hey, how about you back the up? All right, this is our guy. We're going to protect him at all costs. But they also there's a part of it that he's smacking this year's team, and rightfully so. It's what they've seen. But again, it just goes to, we're so hell-bent on how many championships you have that if somebody from Milwaukee is saying, yeah, but you haven't seen what a title team's like, all right? So you actually don't know where it comes into. And then last night, Water does find its level, and Walker is their main and only consistent threat in that lineup, because he is he's a man amongst boys in that right-handed batter's box, putting one into Big Mac land. And that was the only swing that brought him close. But I also, last night, Dilly and Levering late into the game, Drew, almost made mention to it, somewhat laughingly so, but felt like they wanted to put it out there on Brewers TV, of the team being kind of chapped that the 5 games in 4 days landed here in the midst of their longest stretch of games. And when that rainout happened in May, they didn't just play it the next day in the scheduled day-night doubleheader slot that they could have at that spot. The team appears to take they take their own ways of finding motivation. We've seen some of the great players do that. Great teams have to do it as well. And they definitely did that last night. And they had enough from all over the place. They had enough from everywhere. And how do you think Cardinals fans are waking up enjoying this Cooper Pratt fella? Because he rolled into Busch Stadium and announced himself to the Cardinals fans over the last couple of days, because he had a phenomenal series, and Garrett Mitchell just continues to stay red hot. So as Burns' piece was letting everybody know, hey man, it should be a little hotter in St. Louis for our boy Ollie Marmol. The hot Brewers that still aren't playing their best are just going to roll here for the last 3 games of the break and then get some much needed days off.
Much needed. Yeah, the Brewers have their issues, but things are rolling along. It's hard to argue with what the results say. So
They've won like 13 of their last 18, and I think unanimously we would say it's not the best they've played in all
not
year
at
long.
all, and it's been a brutal stretch of the schedule, and here they are. And the thing that feels different about last year is they're not threatening George Webb, right? They don't.
Correct. They don't have that one.
It's just like you look and like I'll have to look it up during the break. I'll tip my cap to Bernie and look up a stat during the break. Bernie does like 3-hour dives and into stats. But what's their longest winning streak of the season? 7, 6. Like that's just it. They're consistent, but they don't need these double-digit winning streaks to pad the numbers.
Right. They're just better. They've been able to roll and not have to rely upon that.
Yeah.
And that's why we were wondering if their record would actually be better this year, because we didn't know if that one was going to happen. You can't count on 13-game winning streaks, but they haven't had to, which has been nice.
Yeah. So we're off and running. Armin is off today. It's his daughter's birthday. He's got to enjoy. Armin works hard enough that we grind him down. He needs a day off, just like the Brewers will get after Sunday, a couple of them. So shout out to Armin Sarin. Billy found his way behind the board. We're up and running on the stream. We're not having any glitches. You don't want to talk about a no-hitter in the dugout, but we're going to talk about it.
I was going to say, because you know what? Like Peyton O'Toole said from the Red Sox a couple of days ago, Drew, I knew it in the third inning.
You knew it.
They said, when did you start realizing you had a no-hitter? Way earlier than I'd like to admit.
Yep. Off and running. We're glad you're with us, you early risers, insomniacs, and sociopaths. You are in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew and Billy bringing it to you. The Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison. This hour of the program brought to you by our friends at Game Day Men's Health. Check them out online, GameDayMen'sHealth.com. If you're feeling if you're dragging a little bit, which sometimes we are, but it's only because of the hours, right? But if you feel like you're dragging, you're not the best version of yourself, go to GameDayMen'sHealth.com. See all the services they provide, how they can help you. Pick that clinic near you, one in Middleton, several in the Milwaukee area. You don't even have to talk to anybody, which is always a deterrent because when I got to talk to somebody. No, go online, click, make the appointment, and then just go in, and you'll be blown away at how cool the place is, the vibe, and how nice and accommodating people are. So check them out. GameDayMen'sHealth.com is the website. Shout out to my friends Patty and Abby at the Brookfield location and Jen. Appreciate all of them. Very cool people, and they're doing great work at GameDayMen'sHealth.com. We're talking Brewers, Cardinals. Brewers are rolling 4 out of 5, a statement. And we're smelling the roses is what we're doing, Billy, because you and I are old enough to remember when the Brewers would lose 4 out of 5 to the Cardinals.
Very much so. Yeah.
And
it happened all too often.
The signature play last night, I guess your inflection point, your Toyota turning point, if you will.
I love that. I love being able to throw the sponsor in there and give you some Badger Mutual insurance runs.
Yeah, ding, ding. That would have been Jake Bauers' home run, right? However, the play that stands out to me was Jake Bauers avoiding a tag at third base with a nifty slide. A great baseball play by a guy who's not known for running the bases, which it's something in the water in the Gatorade bucket. The Brewers do things like that. Guys make plays, smart baseball plays on a regular basis. Sometimes we notice them, sometimes we don't. Sometimes they get washed down the river of everything else that happens in a game because there's all these moments in a baseball game that can affect the outcome. But Jake Bauers being safe at third last night on a nifty little slide like that should not go unrecognized because those are the types of plays that winning teams make.
Yeah, and that might be exactly the play that your friend Bernie in the column that you posted on that talked about the lone win in the 5-gamer that the Cardinals got of the Brewers just being better at everything. That would be one. And base running is where they've been able to capitalize on teams so much. And Drew, last year when they went on those winning streaks, it felt like they capitalized and broke your back so many times on your own mistakes. And that's what the best teams do in whatever sport it is, whether it's off a bad cover and all of a sudden you're looking into a outbreaking 3. Look at it for the Badgers this year. You don't box out on a shooter and all of a sudden you give up a layup and you give away a breakaway and all of a sudden you're down to high point in round number 1. You do the small things. You have you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. And the Brewers were able to do that a lot of times. And it also made Jake Bauers' base running highlight not that little crab walk he did when he realized he was out against either the Reds or the Diamondbacks. Now it's a positive one instead of him just trying to turn something into a joke, which he's got to like a lot better.
Brewers are 6-2 on their road trip. So it's a winning road trip no matter what happens in Pittsburgh this weekend.
That's beautiful.
They're playing 18 games in a row without a day off, and they're 10-5 so far.
Man, in 17 days. And I thought one of the other huge ones in the game was the 7th inning, Chad Patrick being able to eat up that 7th inning. Right after coming in relief and having to go get Logan Henderson in the 6th.
And giving up a bomb.
Give up a bomb to Walker, which was all a capital B. That is.
By the way, he's going to be a problem. That Walker kid is like, he's emerging. He's starting to feel himself.
He's going to get legit MVP votes this year. He'll be in the top 5, but no one's going to win it other than Shohei because the hits and pitches. But that moment to give up the bomb, be able to get the last 2 outs, and then Murph go and throw him back out there and save the pen a little bit more. And all of a sudden Ashby walks in, looks like he brings his gas can, and not necessarily, Drew, the play that you always see made of going and taking the split runner with men at first and second and nobody out, but to not allow anybody there after you responded to their counterpunch of the 3-run bomb with a Terang shot of your own. Man, they had an answer all night long last night, and that was we got the lead, now we're just going to keep you at arm's length. And that might have to be the more demoralizing one out of the whole weekend probably for St. Louis.
And with the dark clouds hovering over Brandon Woodruff and maybe some slightly less dark but still clouds over Kyle Harrison, Logan Henderson steps up.
Yeah, not blue skies over Kyle Harrison right now.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
No.
Like there's definitely a little bit of a fog, and you're wondering where it was. Man, I love that clear blue though on Logan Henderson when he runs out there in that 43. Looked like he maybe ran out of gas a little bit late. Did you see that
I think
as
so.
well
Yeah,
into that
that's
sixth?
It looked like, yeah.
Maybe ran out of gas a little bit, but he's going to be a sprinter in the innings for you. Like you could try and you could very easily see you piecemealing together a bunch of starts with a combination of Henderson Gasser, right? Like I could very easily see a piggyback of that situation, unless Gasser's going to do what he did the other night and just give you 7 innings and shove through it. You try to don't want to bite off more than you can chew, but that's a huge return for Henderson in what ended up being like a 2-month absence. I guess it didn't really realize it until Sophia had the interview last night and they popped up the lower third graphic that he's been out since May 22nd. You realize that he's been out, but all of a sudden the days creep up on you, and that was almost a 2-month absence. I wonder as well, Drew, how much of it they were able to kind of hold back some of his innings too. Right, like you need him back, and you know that you're trying to. But we've talked about this with Harrison and Miz because they're the headliners and they've worked all this way. Henderson's had a lot of question marks on his innings load so far in his young career, and I wonder too if you don't say that you're holding anybody back and you're not going to wait, and if they're ready to play, they'll be playing. But if you can have them ease their way back, it's not a bad time to be able to cut down on some of those innings jumps with maybe an extended week on the IL in the midst of something that you're already dealing with. They've done a really good job of being able to hold that here, and hopefully into August and September, these guys don't run out of gas.
Thing about Logan Henderson, you watch him last night, and he's he was commanding, right? You're right. He ran out of gas a little bit,
but that's fine. That'll happen. Yeah. I'm okay once
in the
that
sixth.
goes.
He ran out of gas a little bit, nothing egregious, but he ran out of gas a little bit, commanding. That was his 11th major league start.
That's why he was maybe the centerpiece of what we were talking about yesterday, and why a lot of teams would think that he should be the centerpiece. That's young, controllable pitching that can play.
Yeah. I mean, 76 pitches, and he's his first start back off the IL, and to command like he did and to shove like he did. I mean, against a good lineup. And again, I'm when I say the Brewers are better than the Cardinals, I'm not denigrating the Cardinals. They were stumbling in the wilderness. Their fan base has been turned off, but I'd be encouraged if I had Walker and Weatherholt and guys like that.
Their top of the lineup is going to work 100%. Herrera there, he gets on base a ton. Burleson's been driving it a ton. Sophia put it out last night on X. Logan Henderson in the return puts out his line. First time he's allowed more than 2 runs in his first 11 starts. God, that seems pretty good.
Pretty good. Maybe he is untouchable.
And this to be coming off of the injury that he is and missing 2 months. That's pretty wild.
And it's funny because yesterday when we were talking about what would it take to get Scooble, and I threw out there my proposed Braylon Payne, number 1 pick, who's we don't know if, but the Brewers picked him, and he looks pretty good. He's like 19.
Pretty nice. Looks pretty.
I would project him as a guy who's going to play in the major leagues. Okay, so that's the prospect guy, and then I said Logan Henderson, the young controllable pitcher, potential star that if you want to Scooble even for a rental, you got to give up something. And then I said Sal Frelick. And Sal had a night last night. I mean, again, I wasn't ripping Sal, but I was talking to my because the Brewers, you sent it to me yesterday. The Brewers were listed. The odds are the Brewers are leading.
According to betonline.ag, the theoretical odds, the Brewers are the best odds to acquire Tarek Skubal,
which is amazing. And we talked about it, and it does seem like pie in the sky, but it'd be a good move because obviously you go Skubal, Mizorowski.
Harrison, good luck.
Yeah, good luck. Or even Henderson or whatever.
Yeah, or Henderson, no doubt.
I feel good about it. But my buddy said that it would take like Henderson and Mitchell and another guy. So it's like, I guess we could have framed it that way. Is would you trade Garrett Mitchell or Sal Frelick if you had to trade an established big league outfielder? Which guy would you keep?
And which one would be more intriguing to other teams? Drew, I think that would be dealer's choice. Or more than anything, it would be player's choice. Well, right? Like it would depend on
Mitchell
teams,
hasn't
I think,
grabbed the fan base here the way Frelick has.
That's very true. Very true. Yeah. But from an acquiring team, I think there's, maybe it's I would believe from what I've watched that it would be closer to 2/3 to 1/3 in favor of Mitchell over Frelick. But I think there'd be plenty of GMs that would look at it and say, I'm not acquiring a guy with that kind of injury history and the type 1 diabetes. One of the reasons why we passed on him in the draft when he was in the first round, we liked him, but we pushed him down because we weren't going to do that. And now he's seen it already in his first couple of years. I wonder if certain teams would value Sal more than Mitchell. And that's what you don't know until they start having these conversations with these GMs of opposing teams and the ones that are selling. Because I feel it pretty staunchly, Drew, even though MLB Pipeline and Baseball America and Baseball Prospectus and every other publication, and seemingly there's a new one popping up every single damn day, which I love, talking about minor league baseball players and ranking them and filing them and telling me about which ones are in their top 100 compared to this guy's top 100. All 30 MLB clubs have a very different top 100 of minor league prospects, and probably believe that the guys that they're looking at of a team that they're going to trade with, they got their own rankings of what they think those guys are too. So I would be believing more teams would want to acquire Mitchell, but I wonder with the injury history and the question marks, if there'd be more teams that would be fascinated with Frelick. If it's Skubal, I'm fine with. Maybe I'm in the vast minority here, Drew. I'd be okay with either of them. If it ends up netting you Tarek Skubal, I think I'd be okay with either of them. That being said, Tigers win again last night. Again last night. They're now 4.5 games out of the AL Central, and the last 2 months might all be hogwash because they definitely might not trade them.
They're 4.5 out of the AL Central race, which is jumbled up, and there's Twins, Guardians, and Tigers.
Yeah, it's just led by the White Sox.
The Tigers are significantly ahead. Yeah, that's right. Significantly ahead in run differential.
Now, I was just going to say,
which means, the luck stuff is going to even out and they're going to start reeling off some wins. And that's something to watch.
And they were an overwhelming favorite in the beginning of the year. So I would assume they believe they should still be. And now that they've played much better in the last 6 weeks, teams are, this is the weird part about the deadline. We want teams to, and we look at them, Drew, all the time as, well, this team should obviously sell. This team should obviously sell. It's very obvious to the guys that a team should sell when they're not being paid by that team. Yeah. Right. Like, I feel like it's a lot easier for us to spend the prospect capital and the player capital of different teams and say, well, this team's obviously out of the race. They should get rid of these 2 players. They should sell off. I mean, even the Red Sox right now, we were talking about Sonny Gray and Aroldis Chapman yesterday, and I love that combo. If you'd be able to grab that 2-piece Caniac combo out of Boston, but they're like 4.5 games out of the wild card. And I'm listening to the Sports Hub yesterday, and they had a guy losing his mind saying, tell me a team other than the Yankees that's the best team in the American League. If the Red Sox could just figure out their hitting, they'd be the best team in the American League. So they clearly don't want to sell. Teams don't want to sell. They would like to be proven to be buyers. In the next 2.5 weeks, there's a lot of teams that are going to try to tell themselves they're in the race, I think.
Yep. You're right. It's going to be fascinating.
And it's going to be a hot seller's market.
Let's get the popcorn ready. There's a lot of encouraging things. We are still rolling, talking Brewers. We invite your input, 877-794-1973 to the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line. Armin is out today. We're skating shorthanded, but we're skating into the weekend. It's the Friday edition of the Huddle on Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin. Drew and Billy bringing it to you. Armin off today. Well-deserved Friday off for the Armenian. We're hanging out with you, talking about this wonderful Brewers trip to St. Louis. Pirates for 3, culminating in that popcorn matchup, Miz against Skeens, Sunday at PNC Park.
Brunch with the Cy Youngs. 11-15 game. And Drew, I do feel like we almost have to urge the folks after the issue we had last week. Little birdie has told me that game is on the Peacock.
Oh boy.
Peacock 11:15 on Sunday morning almost. So an early matinee and a brunch buffet, but that's going to be a great game. That game might be over in 2 hours and 11 minutes.
You'd think that, but that's the reverse lock of all reverse locks.
I was going to say this. We might be in for a 12-8 barn burner, or we might be in for a 2-1 pitchers duel that we think, but that'll be fun. I was at the first Skeens-Mizorowski game last year at AmFam, and that game just felt like a huge event. I mean, we mentioned it yesterday off the air, and all of a sudden the walk-up traffic they had, the damn near walk-up sellout that ended up being, MLB TV was all over it, and MLB Network aired the game nationally. It was a huge one, and Miz rose to the occasion. The Brewers offense did too. They, at that point, I think they knocked Skeens out for what was his shortest start as a big leaguer at that time. So I'm very excited for this matchup again.
All right, so we're talking about trades with the Brewers because everything's rolling, but we know that they're going to do something. We hope it's magical, right? And one of the things about baseball is you can make your quick judgments, your hot takes. It's a little bit like the NFL draft. We were saying that the Brewers fleeced the Red Sox when they acquired Harrison, Drowan, and Hamilton for Durbin, Monasterio, Siegler, and a Comp B pick.
Yep.
Well, Caleb Durbin got off to about as bad a start in Boston as you can get. His first 59 games, he hit 1 homer and was batting about 190. And since then, he's been on a bit of a heater.
Come on, Caleb. Let's go, kid.
He hit his 9th homer last night to set the tone for I think they've won 5 in a row.
They've won 5 in a row, and I think 8 of 9 or 8 of 10. So they're starting to feel themselves a little bit.
And for Red Sox fans who were ready to bury him, you know how it is there. Now they're ready to build him a statue and put him in the Hall of Fame. The truth always lies somewhere in between. But they did. The part of their scoring was that a lot of their fans wanted to keep Alex Bregman.
Sure.
Who the Cubs pried away for 6 years, $175 million. Well, as of last evening, Alex Bregman's hitting .239 with 7 homers. He has 1 triple, 14 doubles, 35 RBI. And Caleb Durbin's hitting .227. Not great, but not that much.
Not that much off that
behind
pace.
.239 with 9 homers, 2 more, 1 triple, 18 doubles, more doubles, and 39 RBI.
Wow.
At a basically minimum salary as opposed to 6 for 175. So the production from Bregman and Durbin, you look at it and go, well, maybe they did know. Maybe Breslow did know what he was doing.
Maybe we are glad he opted out of that first deal that we had. maybe we are glad he took that 1-year opportunity to get up out of there. And for the Cubs, they have like a full no trade clause, no opt-outs, I'm pretty sure.
I think so.
In that deal that they signed to Bregman, and that was one of the reasons why I was very happy he signed it. I think he's going to heat up as the weather gets warm there in Wrigleyville, but those numbers don't lie. And we're no longer... We've let one of the guys have one of the most epic slumps of all time, and he's now got better numbers.
And here's the other thing is that Durbin's been playing really good defense after a rocky start.
Yes.
And he's their second best offensive player behind William Contreras' brother, Wilson. So since June 4th, he's been mashing.
Which, I mean...
If he hits 20 homers this year...
Oh, that's a much different conversation that you're having on EEI.
And he even said, he was asked about it. He doesn't think it's out of the question. He made some adjustments to his swing after that kind of rocky start. He was just looking for something, and Durbin's playing well. Now, again,
didn't he say he also went outside of the organization and got some kind of private help to be able to correct his swing on there? So. That's awesome.
Yeah, I think so. So, man, but that's interesting. And it's not like, okay, you want the Brewers guys to do well. There's nothing wrong with having a trade that helps both teams.
No, and Caleb Durbin's one that I think all Brewers fans felt was a tough one to let go. And he was probably feeling the pressure there early as being the centerpiece of that deal. Siegler's played well since he's come up there. I think he's only played in 18 or 19 games. But his numbers have been good, and Monasterio's been on that roster for the majority of the season. But that trade for Red Sox fans is going to be about Caleb Durbin, and they kind of blessed him as the third baseman of the future. So I'm glad that he's working out. There are definitely trades, Drew, that I think fans will look at and do wish well upon the guy that leaves. And especially, I mean, maybe there are still some AL East hardos that have the hate for the Red Sox from when the Brewers were there way back when. And you want to talk about getting dirt kicked in, like those Red Sox and Yankees teams being able to take in the AL East. But I think you can appreciate and hope that he has some good days and some good years there in Boston. And then they don't curse the number 5 because he's too nice of a kid.
Yep. I'm with you.
And I think there's some Fond du Lac listeners of ours that may have gotten. He had a jersey giveaway at the Fond du Lac Dock Spiders last week. That's amazing.
That's so cool. That is so cool.
So you did your job here, kid.
Yep. So the numbers for the Brewers continue to be, just encouraging, including the fact that they have the best record in baseball against teams with 500 records. Brewers are 31-18 when they play winning teams, including the Cardinals, who they just took 4 of 5 from. Cardinals are 4 games over 500. And again, for anybody if we want to clip this and send it to our friends in the Ozarks, I'm not saying the Cardinals are bad. I'm just saying they're not as good as the Brewers. There's a difference between being 4 over 500 and the last weekend heading into the break and being 24 over 500.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a difference.
There's a little bit of a gap there.
There's a little bit of a difference there.
Just saying, it's not an accident. Not an accident. Oh, we're having some fun, baby.
It is fun. And listen, I mean, there was also a text in on the NicoletLaw.com talking text line. Drew, you're always teaching us baseball terms. The 4-game sweep being called a mop-up. Is that a new one? Is that, I mean, it was a 4 out of 5.
I was gonna say it wasn't a sweep,
but
it wasn't a 4-game sweep. So,
but you take 4 out of 5. I mean, you pretty much mop the floor with those boys.
Yeah. Yeah, fascinating. I had not heard that, but okay. That's like the hat trick is 3 strikeouts, or the sombrero.
The sombrero.
And then the golden sombrero is.
Let's turn that thing platinum.
Platinum. Yeah. Classic. All right. Armin's out. We're on the air. We're having fun. Boom.
I'm Doug Russell. You have to wonder if the Brewers left something nice for their most hospitable hosts in St. Louis this week.
Terang into center. Church and a dead sprint back. Still back. It's gone. Right to the batter's eye for Bryce Terang. The Brewers indeed answer back as Terang hits his 13th.
The Brewers take 4 of 5 from their hosts in St. Louis this week. Last night, the final score was 8-4. Milwaukee's final swing before the All-Star break comes tonight in Pittsburgh. Game time is at 5:40. Other games in the division on Thursday night, the Cubs lose to the Orioles 3-2, so Milwaukee's lead is back up to 7. Also, the Pirates lose to the Braves 10-5. The Reds fall to the Phillies 1-0. And at the World Cup, the first semifinalist is through. France shuts out Morocco 2-0. The French will move on to take on the winner of today's match between Spain and Belgium in Inglewood, California. Hour 2 of the Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake up! Everybody wake up!
With the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with a number of cameras.
Take the cameras off the field and there'll be no huddle.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on one. Ready, Biller for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 get. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red right 18 Bob on one. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We got exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all the board y'all do. Let's go out and kick the tail. All right? Hey, yo. 1, 2, 3. Keep doing what you're doing. Get out now and make the play. Be right all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, B hand, C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh my God. This man's been out all night.
and Armin Sarian.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Friday edition. Oh, everything hits different on Fridays of the Huddle. Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin, broadcasting live, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, everywhere in the iHeart app, streaming live, Facebook, X, and YouTube. It's Drew Olson and Bill Schmid today. Billy's behind the glass because Armin is enjoying a day off. It's his daughter's birthday. You only turned 2 once.
Yeah, you only do. And the interesting thing about kids now in the social capital, social media era, Drew, you wonder when you have to stop having the big birthday parties to be able to put the pictures out on Instagram and get all the social capital of look what we're doing. Look who's 2 or look who's 6.
Yeah.
You know, you find all their different ways of celebrating it, but a good one to celebrate. And listen, it's a great reason to take a Friday off in the good land and turn Friday Junior into the real Friday, step up to the big leagues Thursday and enjoy it. Yeah, hard one to beat.
Yep. As a wise man once said about parenting, the days are long, but the years fly by.
It's very true.
And and everybody, oh, it's such a great age. They're all great ages. I go out and have a beer with my daughter, and it's the best time. It's as good a time as playing with her as it was when I was, holding her when she took her first steps. It's like the best. It's fantastic.
And it's funny. I found myself like the first year that we had Carson, the oldest, and I'm like, man, I can't wait till he can talk. I can't wait till he can like tell you what he's. And then you get to that point, and what he's telling you is, well, actually, I'm not going to go to bed now. I'm going to stay up for the whole game. And you're like, well, buddy, I didn't think that this you could talk thing would you talk back.
Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, exactly. Just enjoy the time you're in because you can't get it back.
And just wait till you get into, when you're doing the baby food and the carrots are going good and the bananas and stuff. And then out of nowhere, the foods that they like will be foods that they hate. From one day to the next.
Yep, flip the switch.
And Daddy, my taste buds have changed.
No,
that's gross.
Not eating.
You asked for this 3 days ago. No, that's gross. My taste buds have changed.
I don't like that.
I don't like that. That's gross.
I don't like peanut butter and jelly.
So much fun.
I want salmon. I don't know when these expensive tastes popped up.
Love that. 877-794-1973, NicoletLaw.com, talk and text. And we've been talking about the Brewers. hard not to be glazing about the Brewers, the way they're playing. They won a series with they won 4 out of 5 with very little in the way of contributions from William Contreras and Christian Yelich. Christian Yelich took a seat yesterday. Brewers won. He's been fighting it. And I think that's a positive that they're winning games when he's not doing anything. And same thing, Contreras didn't do much offensively in this series.
Yeah, and I don't think they got any contributions for the first 2 months really out of Sal Frelick, and they did pretty dang well. Like being able, Bryce Harper has been the mayor of Slump City at times, and then he's had weeks where all of a sudden he's hot as a pistol. It's the ebbs and flows of it are going to happen. But I did think in reading Adam McCalvy's piece yesterday with some of the quotes from Murph, I appreciate the way Murph has gone about it because he's just said the quiet part out loud. You can't do certain things to certain players. Hey, he's got enough cachet where I think the way he said it is you can't take the C off his chest. What do you want me to do? Bat him 7th? I can't do that to the guy and find some more creative ways to get him some days off and hopefully be able to not only find a hotter Yelich, but find a Yelich that can play throughout the entire stretch run here. 24, they missed the heck out of that bat in the lineup.
You can hit us up, 877-794-1973, NicoletLaw.com, talking text line. You can also comment on the stream, Facebook, X, and YouTube. Again, we're talking about the Brewers quite a bit. But, Billy, one of the stories that caught my attention and I couldn't wait to bounce off of you has to do with a legal proceeding. And I'm not talking about Kawhi Leonard because that's an interesting case, too.
Fascinating story.
The case where Kawhi Leonard was going to be traded back to Toronto. He was at Kyle Lowry's farewell reception. He's back in the 6th. And then, nope, maybe not. We're putting a hold on that because of this investigation, this now 11-month investigation into the Clippers' dealings with Kawhi and whether he might be suspended at some point or something. The trade
and
is
how they were able to circumvent the salary cap, which Adam Silver said in April. Yeah, we need to get a resolution to that very soon.
Yeah, well,
we're working on it, I guess.
Someone on Twitter pointed out that the Warren Commission finished the JFK investigation in 10 months. The NBA is now in the 11th month of investigating whether Kawhi Leonard was improperly paid by the Clippers, which he was.
We're going to start going. This is trending longer than the Mitchell report on steroids in baseball.
But Pablo Torre is all over this, and he deserves the flowers. But that's not what I want to talk about. The lawsuit I want to talk about has to do with the guy who's suing FanDuel and DraftKings.
Oh.
The guy who got into it and lost the family fortune, lost $1.5 million. Terry Thompson, in the depths of his gambling addiction.
Back up, Terry.
And then the Inquirer pointed out that this guy who lost, it was $18.5 million he gambled and lost nearly $2 million to fall into financial ruin. He earned VIP status and exclusive perks from champagne to Super Bowl tickets. And he even got a video message from Phillies first baseman Bryce Harper.
Wow.
The call from Harper has raised eyebrows about the relationships between sports books and players and leagues. He is suing FanDuel and DraftKings with the help of the Public Health Advocacy Institute, claiming that they intentionally and defectively designed their apps to be relentless, always-on, addiction-amplifying machines. Harper's not included in the lawsuit, but a lot of people are like, where's the line here?
Sure.
This
paying
guy
for cameos with
a cameo as part to keep the thing going. The guy was getting like DMs from the VIP concierge at these services saying, "Hey man, great win! Let's go, let's juice it up." And they're spiffing him with tickets and stuff,
which all casino hosts have been doing for a long time, right? Like,
of course.
So that's a part of it. And I mean the comps now at certain casinos that people that go to Las Vegas would say, like, wait, they do comp things? They do have comps. They don't have the buffets that I remember them being able to comp. And now if you're spending a certain amount of money, they're comping like golf clubs at the end of the year. But that's right to the phone and the Bryce Harper connection is a fascinating one to be able to be one of the headlines. And the one that grabbed my most attention, but not named in the suit, is even more interesting.
Yeah. And anybody can order a cameo, and that we've seen those, sometimes they're trolling, sometimes they're not on the up and up, but yeah, the message was, "Hey Terry, what's up, brother? Your host Brittany from FanDuel wanted me to make sure your Thanksgiving was extra special." So they paid for the cameo as part of,
there's bought the cameo, said thank you for.
Well, yeah, whatever that cameo costs, even if it was like a couple $500, $500, maybe $1,000. I don't know what Bryce Harper gets, but then to do that and to, it's brilliant on FanDuel's part, but Oh boy.
Can you hit me with the addiction amplifying machine one again? What was that quote there?
The quote from the lawsuit, and I don't know if there's a legal precedent for this, but they said intentionally and defectively designing their apps to be a relentless, always-on addiction amplifying machine. Wow. Well, you could say that about Facebook and X and
I was going to say, you could say that about a lot of things. You could say that about 24/7 gas stations that sell cigarettes. But this one in the pocket, Drew, is different. Like when it's available at all times of the day, I 1,000% get it. And it is a real thing that the problem help lines are there. Now, I don't know when exactly this started. I guess I've never really used FanDuel and DraftKings, obviously, because they're not legal in the state.
Well,
and when you go to certain places, like when I go to Las Vegas, those ones actually aren't even allowed in the state of Nevada. Yeah. The couple of national conglomerates aren't even in the state of Nevada. Those are only like MGM and Caesars once you get there. But they've ramped up, I know, over the last couple of years and maybe more last couple of months because of more situations like this of when you bet a certain amount, you bet a certain amount of money, you make a certain amount of deposits to say, actually, we need to have you watch a couple of videos before you're getting to this point. You need to go through and call a couple of things and call a couple of numbers to be able to get into. Then you can deposit your money. We'll let you deposit the money. No doubt about it. We're hoping you do at the end of it. But they found different ways to try to show, like, albeit maybe some mirage fail safes of it. But there's ways that maybe they'll legally get around this. But this is going to be rather precedent setting, I would think.
It's a slippery slope, and we love Potawatomi Sportsbook. It's if you use it fun and responsibly, it is. Yeah, you're gonna be there today, and I love it. And the games are more exciting. My wife, like, we watch games, and she's not a sports fan, and I'm not really a sports fan because I'm kind of eunuch that way. But when I do have some action on a game, I tend to get a little bit more. And she's like, I don't like it when you've got money on games.
This isn't the normal experience.
It's not the normal experience where I'm like, oh, that sucked. Oh, that's a shame. You know, I'm more like Seinfeld. Oh, that's a shame. Yeah. You know, but if I have some juice on it, when Johnny Vegas and I have some parlays or something, we're like, she's like, I don't like. So that's why, you know, I don't. It's like what I say about the golf course. I don't want her to watch me golf because I'm throwing clubs and being pissed and not my best version of myself. So that's why I want to do that. I kind of got to do this, you know, have my my sweet action.
A little bit of cloak of a darkness. Yeah, no doubt, 100%.
But it's a slippery slope in that we also talk about my love of high life, or we talk about Central Standard's delicious bourbon. Some people have a problem with alcohol, and it's like for years the Brewers, like, they were sponsored by Schlitz or Pabst or Miller, and it's like, well,
they're called the Brewers.
They were called the Brewers. They had a guy sliding into a beer mug, and like they glorified that. And okay, so where's the moral compass? Where's your guilt? The leagues brought this on themselves by embracing and taking money from the sports books and from the betting sites. And this guy was hooked on micro betting, which we tend to forget. You're looking at, like, you know, Malik Beasley, Terry Rozier, and like, what about Emmanuel Clase? Right? He was
first pitch outing,
ball,
yes,
and throwing him. I mean, he got into it. And so if a player can get into that, like, oh, obviously it's designed to make, and the dopamine, it's, well, the way slot machines are designed.
Yeah,
you know?
for
Twitter
sure.
Twitter and social media is TikTok. They're designed like slot machines. The dopamine hit of scrolling is like hitting the slot machine. So, man, the psychology of it is being manipulated, and it is tough. And it's seeping into the younger people. The high school, college guys are getting hooked on it. And I think we got to look at it. And it's a little bit like alcohol, like legalized weed. Some people, it's great. They'll take a gummy, or they'll puff away on a weekend, and it enhances their life. Other people, it leads to, you know,
a lot of problems that you can't necessarily foresee. 100%. And judging, I like how you said it, the moral compass of it. It's the moral compass of society and the moral compass of sports. A lot of times have been in sync. Have been rather in sync.
Yeah.
And maybe this one, it's a little bit skewed. But, you know, the leagues have, you're right, taken so much money. The sports books and the boom of sports gambling over the last 5 years has pumped an insane amount of cash into these leagues. And that has been players and coaches getting rich on it. I mean, like, you talk about the NBA and the aspiration situation with Kawhi Leonard. Well, if he would have signed the same contract today that he signed of a max contract 5 years ago, the cap has exploded for one reason, because of the last 5 years of more states having legalized sports gambling and the true 50-50 split that all revenue is in the NBA. So everybody's getting a piece. But if indeed there's any kind of thought that the games are manipulated because of it, the money will go away. And I wonder if teams and more people, because I think the people that hate sports gambling, Drew, and you can tell me if you think I'm off base on this, will never get into it, and they'll curse its name either way. The ones that are very interested in it will be there either way. I think there's like a 30% grouping right now that have started to dabble in it and might get interested, might be in. But if there is some shreds of, well, how much are the Phillies getting here to be able to have Bryce Harper send videos for FanDuel? That doesn't seem right. No wonder he had an 0 for 4 the night that I had him in my hits parlay. Yeah. You might lose a certain amount. The young people and the high school and college kids, like you just mentioned, though, that's the part where, to bring it to like the Brendan Sorsby thing, that was it felt like, again, I'm not judging lawyers. They've gone to school a lot longer than I, but his representation, it felt like would have been a great opportunity to say, this is going to be my year to impact some change for what obviously happened to me. I was in the early standpoint of it, and look, everything that I lost. There's an incredible education tour that he'd be able to do in the youth of America over the next 9 to 10 months. And maybe we'll go on that because he's not going to be playing in the NFL, not going to be playing in the NCAA. And when, last week or 2 weeks ago, when the NFL sent that memo back to him, or that letter saying, hey, thanks, but no thanks, we're not going to reroute our offseason plans to bring you into the league. I think that was kind of what they're looking for, of like, take this situation that happened to you and try and be an advocate for some change and some education, because that young man lost in a crazy amount, and not only just into the 9,000 bets or whatever he's placing.
And they should do that. And it would behoove them to do it, or the Players Association or something. All right. So when I started covering the Brewers, they have all these meetings in spring training, and like, oh, you got to leave the clubhouse in the morning. You've been in the clubhouse in the morning.
Sure. Yep.
They'll have the union meeting that they got to sit through. And a lot of those guys, it's boring, and they're talking about, CBA issues, and it's probably important this year.
Yeah.
Right.
Very important.
But they would just sit through this hour-and-a-half meeting. At the end, they would get their licensing check, and each player would get like 85 to 100 grand for their baseball cards and video games. Like, that was a pretty good day.
Yeah, it worked out better. Yeah.
It's like sitting through it's going on vacation and sitting through the timeshare, the timeshare presentation.
Oh, sweet. I do get the meal at the end of it. Okay.
So you talk about Sorsby going around and being this person. In the mid 90s, Joe Garagiola, who was a great announcer and before your time, Billy, but he was a big figure in the game. He was a early executive with the Diamondbacks. He was the Game of the Week analyst for many years. This is a beloved guy in the sport, big figure. He would go around every clubhouse, and he brought with him a guy named Bill Tuttle, who it was scaring guys straight about the dangers of chewing tobacco.
Sure.
Bill Tuttle had like half his face removed because of the cancer, and it was horrific. And Brett Butler was another guy who like died from cancer. And I think they would go around, and guys would be shook.
Right.
And he would tell them, like, look what happened to me. I did it like you, and I couldn't be at the ballpark without a big wad of, Red Man or whatever, Copenhagen. And it was awful. It was like, and guys it shook guys. And then a day later they were dipping again.
Throwing it back in.
They just did it. Like, it's just human nature. Like, young guys think they think they're just indomitable. Like they're invincible. Well, it's not going to be me.
It's not going to happen to me. I'll throw it in.
So maybe they scared a couple guys straight, but for a day maybe. And that was back when the tobacco was available in the club. They had it on the rack, like the gum and the candy bars. And
this
stuff.
Probably still would have been when cigarette commercials were rolling through, and
right,
maybe
I
the
think
tail
they'd
end of
stopped
that time.
But then they outlawed it in the minors in like '93. But then like now they can't. You're not supposed to do it, and they can't have it.
Can't have it.
They can't provide it.
Sure.
Yeah, you can't provide it. So. Yeah, Sorsby could be that guy, but that message kind of went unheeded. And when my buddy Jeff Perlman's been on a kind of a crusade, because he thinks like the whole site with the Ringer is taking blood money and run by, if your site is funded by, like the Bucks and Brewers were playing on FanDuel Sports Network.
Yep.
Now, because it wasn't the apps weren't legal here, we didn't get bombarded like they did in other markets with up to the minute, bet on
For
this,
sure.
bet on
Different
this,
updates and prop boosts and all that kind of stuff. Yes, 100%.
Will the Brewers score more than 8 runs today? And they already have 5, and you can bet now at they were, but having Mike Greenberg do ads for, and having it's the Pandora's box is open, and I don't know, again, for most people it's fun, but for some people it can be detrimental. Now, Perlman makes the point, with alcohol and weed, in order to to feed that dragon, you got to go get a 12
somewhere
pack
to get it.
or get a drink.
100%.
You got to go to the dispensary, or you got to go to your corner or whatever. If you're in Wisconsin, you got to go wherever you go, or go across the state line. You got to make that effort. The gambling things, the FanDuel, it's on your phone. It's like this guy said, 24/7. It's calling you, and you don't have to leave. You can do it on the toilet.
For sure.
And it's and for kids who, especially 19, 18,
don't have
19
full
year
grasp
olds,
of what that deposit is that you're throwing into that account. 100%. Amen.
Exactly. So again, it's something we should be watching and probably be paying more attention to. And now, I don't think Bryce Harper necessarily did anything wrong, because they were asking Scott Boras for comments, and he's like, I'm not commenting on that.
Yeah.
But he just did a cameo, and he makes money for this, and he read the script that was given to him, and it's not like he's getting money from DraftKings or from FanDuel to do this.
Right. He's getting the pay for
they
what
were
they
doing
bought
it,
the service.
But they were doing it as if he was, and it's just all a little shady. And again, there's nothing wrong. Just like there's nothing wrong with throwing $20 in the NCAA tournament pool. There's nothing wrong with playing your buddies for a couple of bucks, at on a weekend at the poker table. I mean, there are country clubs in this area, some that my family may have been involved in, where fortunes were won and lost in the men's grill at the.
There were a lot of games that were
gin
going
rummy
here
games.
The rum.
There were kids who couldn't afford to go to their number 1 or 2 schools because dad fumbled the bag
Thursday afternoon.
Dad had a bad day after his league on Thursday, and now you can't go to the school you want to go to because he can't afford the tuition. It's always been a problem. But again, Billy, this is man, it is different now.
We're on the ground floor of it, right? This is the part where this is a different avenue for it, and it's going to take, I'd say, this is probably an uncomfortable 3 to 5 years to fully understand, for all water to find its level of everyone probably dabbling in it, more situations. I mean, because I think it will, and this is probably not the best thing for folks to hear that do love it. I think there would probably be more bad situations than good ones. It might get a little worse before it would get markedly better. But like you said with Greeny, I had this clap back a couple of times when people got mad at me for talking sports gambling and mentioning point spreads and things like that. I'm like, Barkley, Shaq, and Kenny make a parlay before they throw the game to the guys on ESPN.
You're right.
They build out pregame parlays on these network pregame shows.
And your limits, and you handle it just like the way we do with my high lifes, and so it's it's not impacting our lives. We're doing it's fun, but for other people, it's taking a dark turn, and it's something we got to reckon with. Definitely. It's you have to think about it. We love, and again, there's nothing better. Watching games at Pato when you got a few shekels on is so much fun. Taking your boys to the sports book.
Awesome.
It's incredible. It does add to the fun, but it comes with a little bit of a cloud there. So again, do it responsibly, please, and enjoy and know your limits and stuff like that. But this Harper thing, I think, even though he didn't have much to do with it, it's showing that aspect opened a lot of eyes, including mine. Because some guys suing FanDuel and DraftKings because he lost a lot of money. Okay, caveat emptor, buyer beware.
Yeah.
But the Harper thing, it is a wrinkle that they're.
That was the piece I was not anticipating.
Pushing giving the guy Super Bowl tickets. He's bet 18 million with us, so let's send him a Super Bowl for 50 grand or whatever.
Yeah, see what he'll throw on the game here now.
Yeah, so it's fascinating. But it made me think of your suggestion that maybe Brendan Sorsby can go around and tell people and talk, especially high school and college kids, because they're the vulnerable ones. That reminded me of Bill Tuttle going around the clubhouses, and guys his face was deformed. He had his jaw removed. It was tough to look at. And then he would talk, and the message was there. And then a day later, guys would be dipping again.
But then it goes to, if you can get 1 to 2 and you can save 1 to 2, is it worth it?
It's worth it. Absolutely, 1,000%.
But you're spot on. I mean, there's a lot of scared straight situations. That show was on television for a long time.
Yep.
And guess what? They still had more. They still had more guys to be actors.
No,
they still
doubt.
had more people to be able to film.
No doubt. So it's just an interesting discussion. And again, we love Pato and we do things with him. You're going to be there today. I go there on the regular. Armin does too.
I like Bryce Harper even more because of a run in at Pato.
Responsibly. Enjoy it responsibly. All right. When we come back, halftime, Dolph will be in the house. He's our halftime correspondent. Halftime hits different on a Friday. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew and Billy bringing it to you. Armin is off today. It's his daughter's birthday. He's going to enjoy a little family day. Scott Dolphin joins us from the country station down the hall, FM 1061. Dolph, what's happening?
Well, you got to celebrate those birthdays, right?
We were talking about that. Absolutely. Billy said, at what point do you stop doing it? Like, at my age, I don't want anybody to know it's my birthday.
I'm that way too, but my daughter just celebrated 32, and we're having a celebration this Sunday. So we still get together as a family, even though the kids are out of the house.
My Sprout hit 25, and I texted her first thing in the morning, and I said, hey, happy birthday. You're now closer to 30 than you are 20. And she's like, oh, my God. Why did you tell me that?
Delete my number. What are you doing?
She hears the clock ticking now, and like every birthday, you think about stuff like that.
The dreaded backside of 20.
I've been doing that to my dad every birthday since he turned I think when he turned 40 or something. I said, hey, congratulations, you're halfway to 80. And now hey, you're halfway to 150.
I remember all the birthday cards for my dad was over the hill at 50, and I was looking forward at 40. And my mom's like, come on, give him a break. Let the guy at least get in here and have some good years first.
I'm trying to think of any birthday really affected me. I think it was 29. I don't remember having any issue with the milestone ones of 30, 40, or 50. But 29 was like, okay, that's it.
Yeah.
Fun's over.
That's
now you're
right.
married. Now you're starting to have kids. Hey. You're buying your first house. And I'm thinking, okay, it was fun while it lasted.
When people are, I think when you get past 25, I'll allow it because 21's monumental for,
sure,
for many reasons. But when people get 25, but I know people like into their 30s, like, oh, I'm gonna have my birthday week. I'm getting hammered and I'm going to this. Like, really? Like, it's to me, it's like people with no kids who like to go to Disney. I just go, what?
Yeah, I had I think the by far the worst birthday is your 26th birthday. That's when the free ride is officially over.
It's
right?
over.
That's when you got to get onto the insurance conversation. You got to have some hard days on the day after the birthday. That hangover hits a little bit worse because you're a couple years removed from that 21st. That was when it realized to me, like, oh man. Like Dolph, you just said, this was fun while it lasted. Now we're going to start really working now.
I'm trying to remember 26. So I wasn't married yet. I got married at 27. So I was hanging out with the wife. We're living in California. We were dinks, dual income, no kids, living large, probably pulling down, 70 grand as a couple combined and just, living the dream.
Just let
right?
it ride.
Oh, yeah. It was a big deal.
All right. So Dolph, I was waiting to throw this at Billy till you got here so you could weigh in. But the Badgers unveiled the uniforms they will wear for the opener against Notre Dame at Lambeau Field. They're going red.
Yeah.
All
Upset
red.
of the year.
Red helmets.
Yeah.
Red. All red. It's red out. And then Notre Dame is wearing blue. And I got a text from a buddy of mine who is colorblind. He said it's his worst nightmare. He won't be able to watch the game.
Yeah, just be big blobs running around.
Yeah. He said it's just like it's the worst ever.
What does that come across at if you're colorblind and somebody's wearing blue? Does it come across as gray or green?
It's basically,
I was going to say, I think it's just a different mishmashes
like a gray,
of grays.
green. Yeah, it's outlined against a gray-green sky. So Under Armour has got the uniforms for both of these institutions, and the Badgers are wearing them. It's the first time they're going to wear the Culver's logo.
Yeah.
That debut of the Butterburger, which I do appreciate. I'm excited that we're going to have curds on there.
So it's going to have the blue. But I don't know. Did you see them? Because and the rationale like they use, it seems a bit of a reach. Like they went with metallic silver to pay homage to the Lombardi Trophy that the Packers have won.
Yeah,
Like,
that I didn't realize.
that's a bit of a stretch.
And the shoulder stripes mimic the Packers.
The Packer ones
uniforms. So that's your.
But then when you see what Notre Dame's going to wear, that looks like the original Packers, the Acme
they
Packers,
went in
the
with
throwback.
the real full Acme Packer.
They're going all blue
Mm-hmm.
with the gold helmet and the custom gold cleats, and that looks pretty badass. Which I got to say, in terms of uniforms, for me, the Notre Dame's winning this one.
I really like the red helmet. Now, I've also been an advocate for the red helmet for a while. Like I've been waiting for somebody to go red helmet at Wisconsin for a while, and it also is a different one because many people have just been going with the matte color helmet look, and this one's actually the reflective, the shiny one, which I appreciate a lot.
I like that too. So would you like the red helmet not as an alternate but all time?
I'd go to it all, but that's also, I don't want to upset anybody here today. I love it because I think it looks good on the lid.
I like the Badgers classic, the red jersey, white pants. That to me is awesome. The all red, I'd almost like a black jersey more than I'd like a red jersey for them,
that would be a very, very sweet look. I think there were a number of different I mean, I shouldn't say number of different like submissions a couple of years ago, but it was like what would you do and how would you spice up the Badgers logos and different jerseys? And the different AI black jerseys were definitely some of the better looking ones.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with black. That looks sharp. As far as Notre Dame goes, that's like always been their color. Have they ever worn? I know they break them out occasionally, the green jerseys.
Those hideous greens. Yeah, they bust those out every once in a while.
But they've always been the navy and gold, right? To me, I mean, I'm not a Notre Dame fan, but that gold leaf, whatever it is, 24 helmet. God, when it's shining under the lights, that looks pretty
kick-ass.
That's going to be a sweet game. I'm really, really excited. Now, I do believe it's a 20.5 point number.
So it hasn't come down, huh?
Keep that within the number. Keep us interested in the jump around. Who knows?
Billy, is that high?
We might know.
Is 20.5 high in your opinion?
I think it's a good number.
I think it's accurate.
I think it's a good number. I think Notre Dame has a chance to be an absolute buzzsaw. I mean, like there's a lot of different preseason rankings that have come out, and I think they're in like the top 10 unanimously in it. But CJ Carr's he's a different animal. He might be one of the top picks in the draft when he ends up coming out, and people have been saying that already since he was in high school. So that's a really good measuring test game. It's a good measuring stick game. Figure out how Colton Joseph's going to react into the Big Ten, because number one looks like he's ready to play.
Yeah, and that's a game, I guess, that if you're not expected to win, you just move on from there. You win the rest of your non-con and then get ready for the buzzsaw that is the Big Ten. But boy, if you can play them competitively,
now we're talking.
I think back, obviously, it was a really good team that beat LSU up there with but if you can be competitive in front of your home state crowd in a special place, I don't know how you can't be jacked up for that game to hopefully at least keep it within a couple touchdowns.
You keep it tight and have a game, and then you in the spot. But they won't be judged on winning that game. You're right. It's going to be the buzzsaw of the Big Ten, and their Big Ten schedule is not nearly what it was a year ago.
Last year was a murder.
However, it does start kind of difficultly because you can look at it, slice it two different ways. You get two coaches who are coaching their first games with new schools in their Big Ten. Matt Campbell in his Big Ten debut with Penn State. Now their team always is loaded up, and they have a bunch of different new moving parts and new pieces. That's on the road. That's not necessarily a great environment to go into.
Their schedule, by the way, is very favorable as well. But a lot of people have them going 10-0 to start the season.
And that first home Big Ten game is against Pat Fitzgerald and the Spartans. And from all the indications, Fitzgerald is putting something together there in East Lansing. They've got a bunch of funding. And I think there's some folks that if indeed a move would have been made last year, Pat Fitzgerald would have been right near the top of their list.
I know he poached Iowa. He took LeVar Woods, who's been an incredible special teams coach forever, and he took some players too, including the punter and a couple other guys.
Yeah. If I'm going for a punter, I'm going to Iowa. I'm going to Iowa.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Like you're talking about farm systems and teams in baseball. They're like, if I'm looking for prospects, I'm calling the Brewers. I'm looking for punters. I'm calling Kirk.
Punting
Ferentz.
is winning. As the
Punting
T-shirt
is winning.
said during
That's amazing.
The Brian Ferentz era. Punting is winning.
Is winning, especially when you've got the weapons that they've had.
They had Torrey Taylor.
Yeah.
Now with the Bears.
By the way, the one thing about the Badgers helmet, like the black motion W on the helmet, I don't know how that's going to look. Maybe it'll look cool, but it's like, yeah,
I'll have to see. I like the
night.
all for the W is an interesting one. Come on now, let's go get that W.
So
that W and make it a lot more fun post game show there from Lambeau Field.
Let's call this game what it is. It's the Under Armour Bowl.
Yeah. The tough thing is about the game is it was a very, very exciting matchup 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, when the game was supposed to be played in the Shamrock series in 2020, both these programs were a lot different looking.
Absolutely.
And it was going to be a great clash. Now it's one that you've been sitting on knowing was coming down the pike, and you're just hoping that you can keep it in there.
Well, it's just exciting to me. It's right up there with the top SEC teams when you can schedule Notre Dame and they'll actually come and play outside of South Bend. That's pretty awesome, and it's almost like back in the day the Yankees coming to your town. I'm guessing when they were the world champs.
Always. All right, so Dolph, on the way out here, since you brought up Iowa and your Iowa roots and your rich history of country music, the two most high-profile women in our culture right now are catching strays that I don't think they deserve: Taylor Swift and Caitlin Clark. It seems like they're always under siege. Like there's half the population seems predisposed to just snipe at them.
Yeah, it's just like sports, Drew. Everybody hates a winner, and certainly,
yeah.
I mean, Caitlin Clark being who she is, Taylor Swift is the richest woman in entertainment, isn't she? Right now?
Yes,
she's a billionaire.
Of course.
Yeah, and so a lot of it has to do with the Madison Square Garden wedding and the stories coming.
It seems like people just root for them to fail, and they're predisposed to snipe at them.
I don't get it. Now, I understand why Caitlin Clark is taking grief because she's in the WNBA, and now you see a lot of people, at least on social media, bringing race into the conversation. She's a fiery player, and sometimes she deserves to take heat for her on-court tantrums, but the WNBA would not be what it is today without her, and it's only been a couple seasons. I mean, the reason those ladies are getting paid what they are is because of Caitlin Clark.
Yeah. It just seems weird to me that they catch like way too much.
Kyle Hurd said it on here a week or so ago. He's like, you guys were flying the last row of Southwest 2 years ago. And this girl comes into the league, and now you're flying private, and you got a fat new marketing deal and contract. Yeah. But they put out the 30-year poster of like celebrating 30 years of the WNBA. And she's not on it. No. She should have been right in the middle.
I mean, come on.
All due respect to Cheryl Swoops and her family, but you got to insert the one that's taken it to a different level.
She wasn't on it. Neither was it Diana Taurasi?
I didn't know Taurasi was on it. No, but I did see Sophie Cunningham, Sabrina Iescu, and
that was a curious
Angel
decision.
Reese. Okay, that's an interesting choice.
Decision. I mean, Sophie is okay to be on there, I think.
Dolph, I think there's a lot of people that are watching the WNBA and watching the FIFA for a couple reasons.
That's the best meme going right now.
Okay with Sophie being right.
Thank you for popping in. Always appreciate your halftime contributions.
Thanks.
All right, we're gonna get through this day. We're powering through this Friday without Armin. You're in the huddle.
Dominating.
Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew and Billy bringing it to you on this Friday in the good land. Armin is off today. 877-794-1973 to the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line. And we're going to get to Hunter Baumgart's Brewers recap. We'll do that right after the top of the hour. Right now, however, time for a little Who's Hot, Who's Not, brought to us by Donovan Jorgensen, Heating and Cooling, DonovanJorgensen.com. The website, employee-owned for 40 years, the best when it comes to all things HVAC. Now, Billy, we mentioned before, Caleb Durbin is hot. 9th homer last night for the Red Sox.
And rolling with the Red Sox, if I turn my microphone on, you'll be able to know that winning 6 straight and putting themselves back, Drew, right into the mix. Both two teams that I think we've looked at in the AL as sellers, or at least we've already forecasted that they would sell, are now, I think, right back into the thick of things. Red Sox are 2.5 games back of the final wild card spot, chasing Seattle, who still might win that division. And the Tigers are 3.5 games out of a wild card spot, 4.5 games back in the AL Central, because they've won 5 straight games. Right. So it's decision time. This would almost be like moving day at the Masters, right? Saturday is moving day. You've made the cut. Now we're going to figure out where you're shaking out. Once you make it to the All-Star break, you make your draft picks coming up on Saturday. Stupidest schedule potentially around. They'll make their draft picks, and then people will start reassessing. Those two teams, Drew, in the hot category have maybe made themselves buyers. The other one that's an interesting team, winning 6 straight games right now, one of the longer winning streaks in ball, the Miami Marlins. Hey, don't look now. They're occupying a playoff spot. And that NL East looked like it was going to be Braves and everybody else. Phillies and Marlins, only 3 games back. So Marlins are the first home series for the Crew out of the All-Star break. A week from today, that one will start up at American Family Field, and a little bit peskier Fish team that's coming up next week.
There are 4 teams in the NL East with winning records. There are 5 teams in the entire American League with winning records.
That is staggering. That is a crazy, crazy number.
That's crazy. They're crazy. Who's not hot? Christian Yelich
I'm glad you said
night that. Off last night. Been struggling, but again, they won 4 out of 5 with virtually nothing or little from Yelich and nothing from Contreras. I don't think he had a hit in the series.
I think you're spot on that one. I remember them saying that. And Yelich had the 3-hit day in game 1 of the doubleheader, and Murph was very quick to give some praise, right? Very quick to let you know this dude's grinding, he's balling, he's doing everything he can to be able to get here. But he also said and threw it in there, he's feeling it. He's feeling the heat. He's going in there. McCalvey put out the piece yesterday of all the other not hot superstars that he's kind of clumping himself in with, or that Murph laid out for him. I think Manny Machado was on that list. Tatis was on that list for guys not having the years that they anticipate having. Mookie Betts was in that conversation, and Christian Yelich is right there in the middle. But still, the most important games, Drew, are the ones that are ahead of them. And if you get 1.5 really, really good Yelich months, and they happen to be the back end of September and October, whatever he did here in the June swoon and July struggles will be completely forgotten.
Jake Bauers has been carrying the Brewers for much of the year, and Bryce Terang has been hot and cold, but when he's hot, he's hot. But yeah, you're right. Yelich is kind of still like, when Yelich is hitting, all is right with the world. It seems like the Brewers don't, I don't remember a case where, Yelich is raking, but they've lost 5 out of 6.
You're spot on.
You know, it's like when he's raking, everything flows.
And the other number is whenever David Hamilton plays well, the Brewers have won games. But like the straw that stirs the drink is 1,000% Yelich. And I just don't see him moving out of that leadoff spot when he's in the game, right? Like, is that fair to say? I mean, it kind of sounded like that the way Murph said it. Like, I'm not batting him 7th, so you guys can all get that out of your heads. But he's not run producing, so I'm definitely not hitting him 3rd. I think our best chance is him drawing a walk and getting that base runner on the bags.
Well, that's the other thing. Like, Yelich has sucked the last 2 games. He's 0 for 7 with 5 punch outs, but he's walked 3 times and scored 2 runs.
Yep, that's it. As long as you keep doing that, you find ways to impact winning.
So, I don't have an issue. I think people put way too much emphasis on batting order and stuff like that.
What did you think of Mitchell, though, as they try to capitalize on his hot streak? From June 28th or 29th, he's hitting over 420.
He is. For a leadoff guy, for me, and even though it's an old school thing to say, he punches out too much for me to lead off. But
his on base isn't great in that regard. He does feel like a massive run producer right now, But I think they're just trying to capitalize on you get those swings. We'll get you up to the plate as many times as possible.
One of the things about the Brewers is traditionally a lot of teams have like the big kind of plodding, slow, pear-shaped guys at the bottom of the order, and it's hard to get RBIs in that spot. Yep. Brewers have so much speed that their 8-9 guys are fast enough that they're not base cloggers per se, unless, Gary Sanchez is playing or something, but he's usually middle of the lineup. But yeah, Vaughn and Sanchez are the exceptions, but most guys, you have Hamilton and Ortiz, and those guys, it's not, they can score from first on a double.
Yeah, 100%. And the other one, Joey Ortiz, Hunter put out his numbers before yesterday's game since Cooper Pratt has come back. He's already like a 700 OPS player since Pratt has arrived. He's hitting closer to like 270 than the 200 he was hitting. And Drew, he's playing a great third base, but he also feels like the little bit of the weight lifted off the shoulder. Hey, man. He's going to come up. Don't worry. Yeah, we signed him to a contract. You're still here, too.
That's right.
Don't worry. We still believe in you. And it feels like that vote of confidence has paid off. He's definitely in the hot category with Donovan Jorgensen.
Donovan Jorgensen, trusted HVAC repair since 1985. Home, business, doesn't matter. They got you. Whether it's service or replacement, installs, indoor air quality, maintenance programs, they got it all for you. And flexible financing. Check them out at donovanjorgensen.com. Hunter's recap of the Brewers series closing victory over the Cardinals is coming up next. We got other stuff lined up for you as well. You are in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
I'm Doug Russell. Call it a successful trip to the Gateway City.
1-1 to Bowers. Fly ball right field. It is back and it is gone into the bullpen. A 3-run bomb for Bowers, and the Brewers up to a 6-0 lead. Hanging curveball, and Bowers knew exactly what to do with it.
The Brewers take 4 of 5 from the Cardinals this week. The final score last night, 8-4. Milwaukee's longest roadie of the season continues tonight in Pittsburgh. Brandon Sproat will pitch against Braxton Ashcraft. Game time is at 5:40. The Badgers unveiled their opening night football uniforms for their game against Notre Dame at Lambeau Field. Wisconsin will wear all red from helmet to cleat. The logo, stripes, letters, and numbers are all a silvery metallic. Certainly a look we haven't seen before. Opening night is Sunday, September 6th against Notre Dame in Green Bay. The final hour of the Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake now! Everybody wake!
With the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with the number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field, and there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on one. Ready, Bill for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 get. You got to cut and crack. Now it's cut and crack. Red right 18 Bob on one. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We got exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all the ball got to do. Let's go out and kick the tail. All right? Hey, yo. 1, 2, 3.
Keep doing what you're doing. You just gonna sit out now and make the play.
Be right all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag. Be here and see puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
and Armin Sarian.
Zip. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Drew and Billy bringing it to you on this Friday in the good land. Armin off today. Billy's handling the board like an old pro, just like riding a bike, isn't it?
This is definitely the smoothest the ride has gone. This is definitely the best it has gone. And the riding a bike, Drew, is a real thing. The little guy got the first bike with training wheels.
Oh, nice.
And your boy was on it. I mean, like I threw the one that we got with the house because it was already in there, and immediately jumped on. Buddy, this is how you do it. Immediately almost fell off, but third time's the charm. We figured it out, and he's starting to put one foot in front of the other and keep it pushing, just like we're keeping this final hour pushing of the week. And how about this? The final hour of the Huddle for the first half of the baseball season, the theoretical first half of the baseball season. Was that one of the most disdained cliche statements for baseball writers, where people are like, "You're halfway done"? You're like, "Don't put that on me. We're more than halfway done with this schedule by the time we get to the break."
Considerably more.
No, don't add any more games at the tail end unless you're talking about playoff times and more, potential per diems.
I mean, tonight will be game number, 95?
I was going to say 95, right there in the middle of it, and you're almost to 100 games played by the time you get a break. And Doug Russell said it in the update. The longest road trip of the year, of the season for the Brewers, gets an additional game longer. And don't look now, folks. 6-2 is a hell of a way to start the longest road trip of the year.
Yep. Brewers sitting at 59-34, winning at a 634 clip. The lead over the Cubs in the division is 7 games, over the Cardinals 10.5 after they took 4 of 5.
That's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Our boy Brewer Mike said here on the stream, 100 wins this year, potentially. Let's go. Miz win 20 games this year. Drew, in our wild ass predictions to start the year, I said Miz was going to get close to 200 strikeouts. I didn't realize he was going to get close to 200 strikeouts by the All-Star game.
Yeah, that's pretty
What is he at, 130 something?
Yeah.
I mean, it would be staggering if he didn't. And right now, he's the runaway favorite for Cy Young.
You're stunned when he doesn't strike out 10.
Yeah, it's almost baked in.
That's baked in. Yeah, and the most impressive number for all the numbers with the Brewers standings, run differential plus 137.
Which is maybe second to the Dodgers for the best in all of baseball?
Yep. Dodgers are about 160, 164.
Every number is right there alongside that team from Los Angeles. And it does feel, again, maybe I'm just optimistic. Maybe I'm definitely looking at it through Brewers colored lenses. But it does appear that those two teams are on a collision course once again.
Yeah. Correct. Department of Corrections, I misspoke earlier that what I thought was like a black W is like the silver, like the silver W on the Badgers helmets. The motion W is like silver, but it looks black to me.
It looks black in those pictures. Yeah, in those photos. Because I think it's the metallic look. It's a little darker. Yes. It's a little thicker.
Yeah. And that's
thicker
like the
gray,
Lombardi
silver.
Trophy homage, but I was like,
It's that there's a reach there.
That's a reach.
I appreciated the hole, like the little holes in the numbers for the Notre Dame jerseys. They're trying to pay homage to the old school look of the Green Bay Pack. I'm like, we could all just wear our normal kits and it'd be fun. They're going to sell potentially some of these. I don't know that these are going to sell massively though in the team store.
Yeah.
The offshoot merch is kind of cool, like the Wisconsin football and then Lambeau Field in there that they put in together. But there's going to be it's going to be a sweet atmosphere up there at Lambeau Field. We've waited 7 years or 6-7 years for this game. So hopefully it pays off to it on the Sunday of Labor Day weekend.
Yep. You can get us on the NicoletLaw.com talking text line 877-794-1973. We spent a lot of time earlier in the program talking about the Brewers and breaking down the series against the Cardinals, and they got 3 left. And this weekend, the final game of the ceremonial first half. I mean, we're way past the
best
midpoint.
way of putting it. Yes.
Is Miz against Skeens, which is going to be must-see TV as always. Brewers are pretty much always must-see TV with the way they're playing. But Hunter Baumgart, our baseball correspondent, has a recap of the game last night and the series for us. Take it away, Hunter.
Thanks, guys. The Brewers take another one in St. Louis last night. The 5-game series comes to a close in a positive way for Milwaukee, beating the Cardinals 8-4. They take 4 of 5 in the series. First time the Brewers have won 4 games in a series in St. Louis since 2008, and just the second time in franchise history. It was a really good series for Milwaukee. By the way, they are 15 games into this 18 games and 17-day stretch, and they're 10-5 so far in this stretch. Just really good baseball, especially against divisional opponents. They've got one more series in Pittsburgh starting tonight. We'll get to that in a moment. But how about Cooper Pratt? 2 for 3 last night. He's hitting .321 through 9 games in July with a .459 on base percentage. Really starting to show his potential on the offensive side. Of course, his defense has been good as well. Good to see Logan Henderson get through 5 1/3 last night. The bullpen shut him down for the most part. Patrick gave up a run, but otherwise gave the Brewers 5 big outs. And Milwaukee's 59-34 with a chance to win 60 games before the All-Star break. 3 chances to do it starting tonight in Pittsburgh. A 5:40 first pitch, so I'll have you on the baseball pregame show at 4:30 on Fox Sports 920 and our social channels. This report brought to you by Import Minded, your trusted choice for exceptional vehicle care on South 27th, just north of 894. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Hunter Baumgart, doing the work for us.
Now, Drew, I know you're going to be staggered by this development as I go to the handy-dandy weather app just to check what we're looking for in Pittsburgh, because as much as you look at the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin injury report when you go to take on the Pirates, you got to look at the weather report, because generally that's going to be maybe more of a fickle one. Flood watch expected right around noon today.
Oh, boy.
And rain throughout the day, all throughout the afternoon. It says it's supposed to potentially taper off right around 8 o'clock PA time. So potentially a delay here today, a little bit of rain in the forecast tomorrow, but it wouldn't be a trip to Pittsburgh unless you dodged a tarp here and there, right? I mean, those trips, that trip has to include at least 1 or 2 rain delays.
It's incredible. Like that. And back when the Marlins played outdoors, a pro player.
Oh, for sure.
You never had BP on the field because it rained every day.
Every single day, right there.
Between 4 and 6, it rained every day.
And the funniest thing about the Florida afternoon rain, you'd swear to God it's the heaviest rain you've ever seen in your entire life.
For
at
5
least,
minutes.
Yes, for at least 5 minutes. They're like, wait a second, the sun's out again? Okay,
a lot of time it'd be raining while the sun was shining bright.
It's one of the strangest feelings of all time. But you know it's going to dump at some particular point in that afternoon.
It does. If there's a rain out, do they push Miz and and Skeens into the All-Star equation. Like if they don't pitch, if they were to skip them, I don't see why they would. But I'd skip somebody else before I skip Miz.
That's the right question, because I don't know. I should make sure that, and I should know this right out of the gates. I think the Brewers are done going to Pittsburgh after this, aren't they?
They might be, yeah.
Potentially might be done. I know they've locked up the season series already with the Cardinals. They have one more set with the Redbirds at some particular point during the.
Janney and Appleton is going to the games in Pittsburgh this weekend.
Yeah, Janney, you're gonna potentially get wet. There's going to be a couple of soaker days in there. The Brewers they go to Pittsburgh.
Yep, September.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in September.
That's
so.
Right.
I mean, maybe they would, because the other piece of it is, Drew, with that Sunday matinee, that being a Peacock game. I don't know if this is one of those super special Sunday special Peacocks where every game is on Peacock. I think this is just the only one, and it's the first one that the Brewers have. They used to never put games in doubleheaders on a Sunday to interfere with Sunday Night Baseball. So I wonder if that would be a case if they would just push it to there. Well, let's not even worry about it.
Nope.
We'll sit through an hour delay here tonight. We'll get maybe a little rain delay theater with Sophia, Dilly, and Levering, and then we'll be off and running.
It's Sproat, Drowan, and Mizorowski. Right.
That plays. I'm interested in it.
So if, like, say Saturday's game got banged, do you push Drowan to let him start and sit Miz? I don't think so. Especially if Skeens is going on the other side.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. But then last night during the game, Sophia had, sometimes they'll tell you something without telling you. To sneak some information in there while we know. She said, not sure how long Miz will go on Sunday. As you know, they're trying to be protective of his arm here in the middle of the year. And going into the All-Star break, you don't necessarily know. If they bumped him, would that make him available to pitch and or start the All-Star game on Tuesday night?
That's the question. I don't know.
Because the way it looks and the way it's set up, they're missing the National League is going to miss a number of their main guys on the starting side, because Ohtani's not going to pitch. Skeens wouldn't pitch. Miz wouldn't pitch. And I think Zach Wheeler is also slated to not be able to pitch.
I think so. Yeah. That's interesting.
A lot of guys in there. But
let's just assume they're going to play the games.
Because
right?
Sunday, 11:15, that's way too good. That brunch with the Brewers is going to be
We need that to
good.
chew on, because I forgot to take off during All-Star week. So we need that to chew on Monday in the huddle.
Yeah, we need something to enjoy for a couple of days there. And then, Tuesday, we'll be able to break down that awesome Barry Bonds Netflix special that comes up as the Home Run Derby. Thank God Maddie's saving us on the actual baseball.
That is going to
call.
be sweet. Yeah.
It's so good that we at least get Rizzo and Matt Vasgersian and Hunter Pence, one of my favorite non-Brewers for my childhood.
If you missed our discussion, we really be ready for that. The Home Run Derby is going to be on Netflix. There's no more ESPN production, and the way they bungled it last year, they deserve to lose it.
Yeah, they deserved it.
It was like borderline unwatchable last year, and it's been
trending that way the last few years, Drew.
It really has.
Because they've been doing that stupid split box, and you couldn't watch the baseball. Sorry, I'm watching this to watch dudes hit a baseball as far as possible. I don't need to see your launch angle graphic that you've been cooking up for the last 4 years in the Nerd Lab.
Don't need it.
I'm excited that you do.
No.
I'm really glad that you have one. Keep that on ESPN too, and let the big boys enjoy the normal one. Dan in West Bend, back in the 90s, a 60-win year was a good year for the Brewers. Well, that was more in the early 2000s that a 60-win year would have been.
We only lost 100 once.
But this 60 wins by the All-Star break, they're just continuing to potentially set their own record of best start in franchise history.
By far. The best winning percentage. Even if they lose all three, it'd be like the most wins at the break ever. And it's pretty incredible. All right, time for our Current Electric superhero of the day. We love the superheroes at Current Electric. Call current.com is the website. Check them out for all your electrical needs, whatever they may be. Billy's thinking about that conversion to solar.
I'm looking at it, man. I'm looking at it. No doubt about it.
Save some money in the long run. I got to get this ceiling fan light thing straightened out, and my disposal. There's a circuit, something wrong with my circuit to the garbage disposal, or one of them, because I have two. And it's so I'm going to have to call Current myself. Billy, who's our superhero of the day?
Well, he's our superhero of the day for what he's hopefully going to do coming up tomorrow night. Now, hang with me, Drew, here. There's some folks that are going to be very dialed in. There's some cannot wait for the return of one of the more polarizing figures in our sports landscape over the last couple of years. Conor McGregor is fighting in UFC coming up tomorrow night in UFC 329. McGregor versus Holloway 2. Our current electric superhero of the day is going to be Max Holloway, because that American is going to beat the ass of Conor McGregor and put us completely out of our misery. I'm so tired of waiting for this return, hearing folks tell us McGregor's going to fight again. McGregor's going to fight again. He dry humped this for 4 years, saying that he was going to fight. He hasn't fought in nearly a decade, while Max Holloway has been going into banger after banger after banger. This would be like Tom Brady talking about wanting to play. I want to play quarterback. I could play quarterback again. And then all of a sudden, just week 13 of an NFL season saying, you know what? I'm going to play for the 49ers tonight. Okay, cool. I'm excited for whoever's on the other side to steamroll him. And last time I watched Conor McGregor fight, he snapped his leg in half and was still talking about doing something to the wife of the guy who just beat him. So I can't wait to watch McGregor get his face bashed in tomorrow night, and I'll be watching every second of it coming up on Paramount Plus.
Conor McGregor is in the he's still getting a check category.
It's stunning. And Drew, like, not even just getting a check. It's like this revered and waiting. Our boy Wes Hodkowitz can't wait for it. And I told him, I'm like, Wes, you and I could not be on polar ends of the spectrum here. I can't wait to watch him get smashed in. His Proper 12 whiskey is awful. It gives gut rot throughout. I haven't liked anything about McGregor in a long time after I watched the buffering version of him and Mayweather do that fake boxing match back in 2015 or 2016 that they ran through.
Boy, you thought we'd reach rock bottom there, but clearly we had not.
I kind of thought he was done. I thought it would be completely out of the lexicon. Instead, this is going to do a huge number, and I can't wait to be on the other side of it.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
There's certain guys, Drew, that I don't feel bad against cheering against in sports, and McGregor is one of those guys that I thoroughly enjoy.
He's one of those guys that there are some guys that you just wish they'd just go away.
Mm-hmm.
Just go away.
you made some cash. You're good. Just get up out of here. Just go away. Go away. Max Holloway, a minus 215 favorite at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. I'll be enjoying that one coming up tomorrow night, and definitely taking Max Holloway, who's going to be our superhero of the day with callcurrent.com because of what he's going to do. An electrifying performance, hopefully taking the lights out of one Conor McGregor. If your lights are out, callcurrent.com can go and turn them back on.
No doubt. Had a lot of outages with the bad weather. Now it's going to be time, and it's like, well, it's the double whammy, because if you lose power, boy, you know, the fridge goes out. You lose a lot. And then the HVAC, if your air conditioning doesn't work, if you got power and no air conditioning, well, you can't have air conditioning without power.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't have, if you have power and no air conditioning, you're still going to be hot. And next week's going to be 90s again. It's going to be
And you're going to go be
rough.
trying to find a hotel.
Exactly.
I think that might be hotel weather if all of a sudden the power rolls out.
When it's hot or it's cold, you stay comfortable in Iron Jock clothing. Our buddy Paulie Hansen, we're wearing it today. You got the Iron Jock. I got the underwear and the socks are just so needed when it's hot out.
Well, I'll also say the socks don't rip.
The socks don't rip.
I mean, I have holes in every one of my freaking pairs of socks except those. And it's the one thing that you can wear on back-to-back days in the summer and not offend yourself or anybody else. Mm-hmm.
The antimicrobial technology in the silver ion technology is incredible with Iron Jock. And Paulie Hansen, of course, as always, has a deal now through July 19th. If you buy $30 or more of anything at ironjoc.com, you get a free pair of low-cut socks thrown in. No promo code. Just hit the $30 threshold, and then you'll be able to choose your sock size at ironjoc.com. And those socks are a game changer because it's one less thing you got to wash. Because I will admit, like, I wouldn't wear as great as the Iron Jock underwear is. I wouldn't wear that multiple days in a row, but the socks, I can.
Yeah,
and
you and
I
are on the same wavelength on that one.
I
definitely won't be doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. I can wear those because they still feel fresh and like they don't rip and they don't smell and they seem like no matter what you're doing outside, they don't get that soggy or wet, It's like they're just.
Yeah, the kids call it swamp.
Yeah.
And you actually, it evaporates even if you're in the 300-pound variety. I'm a big fan of that one.
Those are they're the Sherman tank of socks. Iron Jock is.
I love that.
There's no question.
That's perfect.
So yeah, and I'm wearing the low cuts or the no shows now, but then when it gets a little colder, you wear those, the regular, what do you call them? Tube socks, And
and I've also been a fan of the t-shirts with the little low profile logo right here at the top for a while.
Love that. Yeah.
But I had only a white one for the longest time. You can only do so much in the white t-shirts. This one now you go color. I got a black one as well that I almost feel comfortable to go into the bar with that after a day, right? Like there's ways that you can enjoy it, class it up, class it down. I'm a big fan of the Iron Jock stuff that we just grabbed.
All right, so you mentioned you're going to be watching the Conor McGregor fight. The World Cup is churning on. The matches are getting good. Belgium, which ousted the United States, takes on Spain today. I think Spain will prevail. France got through as expected.
Yeah, with little to no resistance, it appeared yesterday.
Beat Morocco. But the match to watch this weekend is Norway and England. I think that's going to be fantastic. That's tomorrow at 4:00.
And that has the superhuman in it, right? That has Holland in it, and I will be watching the Viking, right? Like there's teams that you can adopt. Now I know there's certain friends of ours, Aaron Nagler of Carry the G Radio, the podcast, and obviously Cheesehead TV. He's all in with the Brits. And I told him yesterday before we taped, you and I will be on complete opposite sides tomorrow because I am very excited to watch Holland. You want to know how far like the best players can take their guys. We watched Mbappe move on yesterday. Again, I mean, little to no resistance against Morocco, who had been rankings wise the best team that they played. You just want to see the best teams move on. And I'm with you. I think Spain should be feels a little bit like a layup later on here today.
It's funny because you did a pod, the Carry the G pod with Nags the other day. He joined me and KB for Beers on the Table.
Hey,
yesterday.
Let's go.
And KB was ripping Christian Pulisic, questioning his fortitude and the injury. And turns out he had a bone bruise, which I had a bone bruise in high school. That sucks.
That's nothing to mess around with.
And a little fracture of the tibia. So basically broke his leg.
Yeah, it's been open season on Pulisic the last couple of days, hasn't it?
Yep. And I've seen it before. It's the best player on a bad team or best player on a mediocre team.
On a mediocre team. Yeah, 100%.
Is in the crosshairs. Like the goalie messed up as bad as Pulisic did, or Pulisic was ineffective and he did not have a great World Cup. The first 10 or 15 minutes of the first game, he looked sublime. And then
looked
after
amazing.
that,
Yeah.
didn't look great. So, but he's taken a lot of strays he's wearing it for everybody else. Like nobody else played well, against Belgium.
No, it also from the little bits that I've been able, I won't listen to really Alexi Lawless because I could tell like right there and like I think the 80th minute, Drew, he was smiling knowing what he was about to be able to unleash on the U.S. national team and about how embarrassing it was for the U.S. national team at that point. But like the Landon Donovans, Carly Lloyd as well, like when they don't pull punches for you or on you and they lay it out there like Clint Dempsey and them did after the game and continue to roll with it. There seems to be inklings of he doesn't make things easy and might not be the easiest guy to defend in these moments. So like the folks that have an opportunity, if you feel like you've been wronged, people have been lining up and taking their shots at him right now. But you're right. He's like this. I think a lot of the rankings had him as like the 60th best player in the tournament coming up. Some of the, I don't know if they were Jaylen Brown analytic metrics said that he was like the 8th best player on the U.S. team for how they performed during the tournament, but he's the most well-known guy and going to take the most arrows when the team goes down. But we all knew what the issue was. I had made the joke a lot about it that we got guys playing in clubs, not for the Seattle Sounders.
Yeah.
Well, we were the only team in the tournament that had a goaltender that plays in the MLS. Maybe we go and try to find somebody else that's playing in a La Liga or a Bundesliga. Then we have some better opportunities because I think that wart showed itself even more on the Younghoe Koo drop. I think the goalie may have messed it up even worse than Pulisic went out there and laid on the floor. And I don't know, it would have been as bad as my man Younghoe Kooing himself there outside of the goalie box.
You are
Brother,
not wrong.
lock it up. Where are you going?
Yeah, you are not
Play in
wrong,
your circle.
my friend. Yes.
Play in your circle.
Oh my goodness. All right. Keep them coming at 877-794-1973. That will get you in. We're going to take a quick break. We're nearing the home stretch of the Friday edition of the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew and Billy bringing it to you on this Friday in the good land, coming at you live, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, iHeartRadio app. Of course, if you're traveling in between the signals, we got you covered. And of course, X, YouTube, and Facebook on the stream. Please, we welcome one and all. Thanks for hanging out with us on this Friday. We're entering the home stretch of the program today, Billy, and we've had robust conversations about the Brewers heading into the final weekend before the All-Star break. Are you, like some are scratching their heads because when they get to the foul line intros and Miz and Contreras are the only Brewers representatives for the season they've had. But who else is worthy? Is there anybody like Turan got snubbed, but then that's what they're saying about Weatherholt in St. Louis.
Tough position. I would say in the one, it's the toughest position to probably make. I mean, Bryce Harper had to be a commissioner's pick to be able to be thrown on there. Jake Bauer's numbers are all-star worthy, right? Like, I mean, the numbers that he's put together, and I think the other part of it, Drew, would be just they don't do these because of how it makes people feel, right? The cushy feel part of it. But what it would do for his career, throw an all-star game on there and potential money that he could be making once he gets off of out of the Brewers wheelhouse here. I mean, he's made himself some cash if he's able to continue to produce this way. 16 bombs by the break, 280 and an OPS. What? He's like 875, 880 on the OPS. Those are all-star numbers, but I can't take somebody off and say you have to put Jake Bauers on there. It's a little bit tough of a first base position to be able to crack through at.
That's the thing. I mean, there's other good dudes, and yeah, we appreciate him here, but does it scream all-star to you?
Well, no, the name definitely doesn't. And when you're voting on these guys, that's mostly what it ends up being.
Is he going to beat Freddie Freeman?
No chance.
No
shot. Freddie Freeman's a first ballot Hall of Famer and one of the best players of this generation. Harper might be one of the best players of this generation as well. And it's going to be too tough of a spot to be able to break through. But I think his numbers are all-star worthy. I would have liked for there to be a way to throw him on the list. Whatever happened to our old school last guy in deal?
Yeah. Well, and you could also create the utility guy.
Sure.
100%. Because Bauers doesn't just play first. He's played some outfield.
Plays
right?
a little outfield, no doubt, 100%.
So
hits into that DH spot a couple of times.
Yeah. So that'd be a thing. But yeah, it's hard to argue with.
It's hard to argue, right? Like, you're looking at him and you're saying there's no way I'm taking any of these guys off. So good luck making it.
I mean, Contreras slid in, and that wasn't easy for him either. Hunter Goodman, is he the only Rockies representative? He's the third catcher.
I believe so, yes.
So it's Contreras and then Drake Baldwin from the Braves. That's a no-brainer.
Who had a phenomenal start to the year, and he got a little bit dinged up and hadn't been great. But Hunter Goodman's been phenomenal. He's hit some absolute bombs. And he's still waiting. I saw on the interview with the Foul Territory guys yesterday that he had. He's still waiting on his invitation to the Home Run Derby coming up on Monday night. He said he put it out there, though, Drew. He's like, I had my dad here, practicing throwing to me if indeed I get the call. I feel like you would have gotten the call now. I feel like we would have known if you were going to be in by now, but they're going to guys that aren't in the All-Star game. So it feels like if they were going to ask him, they probably would have by now.
Yeah. You're right.
Do you have a problem with that? Guys that are not in the All-Star game being in the Home Run Derby? It got into a cool back and forth on their show yesterday or the day before, and AJ Pierzynski was hell-bent on it. He's like, I know I'm probably in the minority. There's no way if I'm one of these guys that's competing in the Home Run Derby, I'd want to go there if I'm not staying for Tuesday.
That's a good point. Like that, we make fun of Mac McClung. At least they're in the big leagues.
Right. At least they're big leaguers. At least all of a sudden Jake Bauers, who's in the Home Run Derby, is getting a big league check.
Elevating Bryce Harper as the commissioner's pick, he's going to be in the Derby in his home park. Of course, that makes sense, right?
It has to be. It has to be there.
Absolutely makes sense.
Well, and that was the thing. I don't know. Schwarber said maybe his back was tight and he might not do it. He was thinking about doing it. They got some good names in there. As long as James Wood's in there, I'm going to be interested. Citizens Bank Park's a good park to hit taters on.
That's going to be pretty late. And they use the Titleist balls too.
Oh yeah, Drew, they're cooking those bad boys up. In
Jordan Walker, 24, he'll be in it perennially.
That'll play. I'll be excited for that one.
And
as
then
well.
people are going to get introduced to, Ben Rice, who's hitting lots of bombs that people don't really know who Ben Rice is
already. He had this kid. They keep showing the highlight here tonight. This morning, Yankees were playing in Tampa yesterday in the Trop. Drew, he hit one out just over the wall. And this poor little 4-year-old is sitting in the seats. He's cowering underneath the seats in fear of this home run ball. And it almost just nails him. Ben Rice got like 20-some bombs. He's the only reason why their offense is the way it is without Judge.
Prince Fielder won the Derby in St. Louis. And we were mentioning earlier about all the St. Louis fans taking umbrage of us pointing out that the Brewers have had their number for the last 7 or 8 years. No Cardinal has ever won the Derby. And Jordan Walker's the 8th player to compete, joining Jack Clark, Ray Lankford, Mark McGwire twice, Jim Edmonds, Albert Pujols, who was in it 4 times, Matt Holliday twice, and Carlos Beltran.
For some reason, I thought Lance Berkman in one of those years that he was with the Cardinals.
No,
I like that. Carlos Beltran.
His Houston days were probably in the
would have been when
Derby.
he was in the Derby. Man, Pujols was still the machine. One of the hardest guys to hate on one of your rival teams.
Agreed.
Is that like he was just so good and so mechanical about it that like you couldn't dislike him. And then he turned out to be one of the nicer guys of all time, it sounded like, from all interactions with people.
Albert and Albert and Prince Fielder, to me, were the two guys that you just watch them and, man, 15-2, second game of a doubleheader, 95 degrees, 8th inning. They ain't giving up that at bat. Those guys were, and I would watch Pujols play defense and like yell at pitchers and like he was in it, man. He was always on. Like Robin Yount had that too, but the great ones and Prince played 1 year every inning. He played every game
for sure.
It was like those guys were wired different, man. They were, but it didn't matter. They never gave up. You never saw them look non-competitive.
And I don't know that they would have felt like your boy Dan Clark, that Twitter bot that had a problem with Jackson Churio going up and hitting left-handed. I don't think they would have had a problem, but you definitely wouldn't have seen either of them going up there that way. Because like you said, they're taking that hack and they were going to make it worth it when they stepped in that box.
And to rip Churio for that is so ridiculous. I mean,
so dumb.
God, it was dumb.
It was so dumb. There was a video, or somebody reposted one of a guy hitting a home run offhanded off a pitcher or off a position player pitching. And he's like, well, see, this was just erroneous back in 2019. We should probably kick him out of the league. I enjoy the satirical responses that he ended up getting. But if the Cardinals had any problem with it, they didn't do a great job of being able to stand up last night to it.
That's right.
Right. I mean, they didn't provide a whole lot of resistance. Bottom of the Brewers lineup was phenomenal. I don't know if we mentioned it enough times here, Brew, that like Ortiz getting some love as he should on base in all of the games of the 5-game series. Man, Cooper Pratt probably had his best series as a Brewer this past weekend. Past weekend, really starting to figure out the offensive side that you knew was going to be a little bit slower developing for him. But I mean, don't look now. He's been more than just an average offensive player while doing some pretty impressive stuff on defense.
We'll talk about it more on Monday and Tuesday, because this is the week that you kind of catch your breath, baseball, and you got the home run derby, then the All-Star game, then a couple days, and then they fire it up. But one of the things, if I was a baseball scribe at this juncture, and I don't know how many guys travel to the All-Star game anymore, not as many as it used to. It used to be like it used to be the start of the trading season, and like GMs would go. It's a little bit kind of like the combine with coaches and stuff. Like they don't go anymore. They're, especially with the draft, they're all hunkered down.
Especially with the ridiculousness of that draft.
Even before they moved the draft back, it wasn't a high fashion place. They stopped going.
Guys started taking the 4 days off.
But it used to be like they'd be at the galas and you could talk to GMs and you'd bump into them at events. And, you know, that's where the kind of the start of the midseason trade talks would be fire up. Now it's all email, phone, you know, but it's just different. But
is that more different than the winter meetings? How it used to be? I mean,
yeah, the GM meetings set the stage for the winter meetings
all the time.
Yeah, and now they happen later. Room. So it's just weird how times have changed. But if I was a scribe and I'm walking around and I have access to like every player sitting at a table and you can ask anybody, that's the time for think pieces. And I'm interested to see what guys think at the halfway point of the ABS system. Pitchers, catchers, hitters.
Yeah.
I'd be walking around asking, and it's time for a piece of like, okay, so where is it? What has it done to the game? Has it made it, is it better? Is it worse? Who's it helped? Who has it hurt? You know, how has it impacted at bats? What were the 10 biggest like challenges, overturns. Because there was one the other day, like the bases loaded 3-2, and a strike was turned to a ball. It's like doesn't get any bigger than that.
Doesn't get any bigger than that.
Right?
Would
So
be out of the inning and turns into.
That's what I'm interested to see. Someone dive into that, and then the flip side of that is, can someone get a hold of some umpires, because there's a bunch of guys that announced they're retiring.
I was just going to say that part, yeah.
And like they're all the older guys, the names like every time
There's
I go to a
lot
game,
of guys that I know on that list, 100%.
yeah, and every time I go to a game, you see the 4 umps. It's always like unfamiliar names or younger guys, and they're the guys who've come up through the minors with it, and so they're a little bit more adjusted. The old school guys maybe aren't. Yeah.
CB Buckner was the one that everybody looked at off that name, but there were a lot of Dan Manzolino was on that list. There was a lot of guys that you've seen and have umped a ton of games and a lot of playoff and World Series games in there that are walking away.
Losing a lot of institutional knowledge. So that's one thing I want to see, is like those think pieces. And then just like, in general, like how dominant pitching, so dominant, and like that's the time to do stories like that, because you got access to everybody. You can ask everybody the same question and get answers. And I used to do stuff like that all the time.
You got so much opportunity, and like you said, how it's changed at bats. The walk rate was the first thing that everybody glammed onto, of it being up across baseball. Unanimously, walks were going up. But now I think we've started to see a little bit of an adjustment to the adjustment, and pitchers are just hammering the zone because they know they have to.
Yeah.
How has it changed of your aggressiveness early in counts, Drew? Because I'm going to get something. Because he knows that the zone's a lot tighter. He's not getting that lower zone strike that you used to be able to get with a Mike Estabrook or whatever.
I would also be walking around asking every hitter about Miz, because and to your point, like Miz throwing 100 pitches and 75 for strikes. It's obscene.
That just wouldn't happen. Dylan Cease threw 118 pitches the other day in that no-hit bid. 83 strikes. That's unworldly how you're able to just pound the zone and know you have to.
Yeah, pounding the zone with quality strikes. And that's the thing. Those are I like those long ball, long form pieces where you get a bunch of voices in and get to talk to different people, and you pop on and you get the managers and coaches you can talk to too. It's cool.
This was right around the time to that point of the think piece when I believe the year they instituted the pitch clock, you started to hear pitchers saying, yeah, it's changed how I can go max effort, or how long I can go max effort, and just speeding your own self up in your process. Because everything had been on, we're going to throw 100 pitches. Sure, we're going to throw less than 100 pitches, but everything you're going with your best swing against the best pitch. And I wonder how that's maneuvered, because that big best pitch used to be a wipeout slider that ended up in the opposite batter's box. You're probably not able to throw that as many times right now.
That's a good point. Those are all things that can be that they can tee up.
But it is the interview of being able to ask everybody the same question. That's the fun one, because you got to get some crazy different responses.
Oh, absolutely. And this is also a time with everybody there start asking about the labor stuff.
Proposal. Are there more proposals being pushed back and forth than you
I
thought
think
right
so.
now? I thought so. I was
thinking
thinking so too.
I think the most effective stuff is when you keep it out of the media.
Sure. Yep.
It's almost like when, baseball's made some borderline insulting propositions that the union will then release. It's like, I think it's almost better, and you get more done when it's not,
right. When everybody can sit down and actually
just
go into the back room of Carbone and have a conversation.
Yeah. You keep it on the low. Absolutely.
But it does appear that both sides know we got to be talking about this now.
For sure.
We can't push this thing until December, when all of a sudden everything's locked out, to start putting some deadlines on this thing. We got to start acting.
All right. 877-794-1973. Get your final words into us before we break for the weekend. When we come back, we close up the week. And we do that with a wake and bake story from our pals at happyplacehemp.com. You are in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Time to shut this bar down, John Taffer. The Huddle, Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin, Drew and Billy. We close up shop every day with our Wake and Bake story presented by happyplacehemp.com. Weekend's a great time to imbibe in the best CBD products you'll find anywhere. Check them out, happyplacehemp.com. Fill the cart. Use the code HUDDLE for 25% off your order and free shipping. That's key because it is good to go to Muskego and just have the products right away when you leave and you get to talk to Rob and Chris and the crew. But, shipping is so convenient, as we know. So check them out, happyplacehemp.com. I love the Drift Seltzer, the Drift Gummies, and the Delta 8s. You might like something else. If you have questions about the product, email them, call them. They will walk you through and help you pick something that's right for you. But the Huddle, as a code, gets you 25% off and free shipping. Billy, what's our Wake and Bake story today?
Courtesy of the New York Post and Armin Sarian. So he contributes to the show while off. There's only certain individuals that have that kind of dedication to the craft and the love of the medium to be able to do this. But he sent me this one for a Las Vegas Little League baseball president. Drew spent $65,000 of team funds. Well, in Las Vegas, how else would you do that? On adult ballet, casinos, and male enhancement pills. As the New York Post writes, horned up Little League president accused of stealing nearly $65,000 from his local baseball chapter and blowing the funds on strip clubs, erectile dysfunction pills, and expensive liquor and casinos. Steve Rodriguez Prado, a California convict who snuck his way into youth sports, allegedly funneled upwards of $64,000 from Central Little League of Las Vegas to fund his raunchy lifestyle, according to Fox 5 Vegas. And it continues to roll on that the baseball official was elected president in December of 2025. And shortly after, took over the Wells Fargo account and allegedly started siphoning the funds. He made at least 79 separate transfers on payment service Zelle from the league to either his personal account or a business owned by his wife. Ooh. So we don't know exactly how that part of it intertwined. I don't know if that then the same ABC entertainment accounts were coming out, but cops discovered Brado spent stolen funds on absurd personal ventures, including a check at a local Las Vegas adult ballet where he spent $800 on a bottle of Don Julio 1984, a $50 bucket of Modelo's, plus the modest 22% tip of $243. And, oh, by the way, $1,300 in total spent at that check. So there was potentially a couple of songs that were purchased. And the other one, other expenses that Prado used the league funds for, well, as this motto says, just chew it and do it. Affordable erectile dysfunction medicine, Blue Chew, not intended for juvenile consumption. The Post writes in here that cost the league around $300. He then spent just nearly $2,000 at casino resort bars, valet, another nearly $1,500 on ride shares and electric vehicle charging ports. And then, decided that he also was going to use some of the money on 2 Spirit charges before they closed up and PlayStation games. So my man just said, hold on, this is all my money now. I'm going to use it however well I damn please, which is to enjoy some, I guess, dental hygienist school functions, find different ways to get my car up and get something else up. There's Steve Prado. They're having the most Vegas year of all time. Somehow spending $65,000 of Little League baseball money, Drew, in less than 7 months. I mean, that's honestly impressive. People say, how do you spend so much money to be a lottery winner and then go broke? Well, have Steve Ruiz Prado come and hang out with you. And I think they'll figure out a way. He'll teach you. He'll show you exactly how you spend that kind of money.
That could have been our current electric superhero.
Yeah, very well could have. Very well could have also been the superhero of the
Wake
day.
and Bake story of the day brought to us by Happy Place.
Armin did put in the email. He goes, probably could solve 2 show beats. He could probably be up for 2 different awards, but that's a superhero-like performance at the adult ballet.
Oh, my. Wow. That's amazing. All right. Great conversation today regarding the Brewers. That 4 out of 5 in St. Louis They just got to keep it rolling.
Yep.
I'll settle for 2 out of 3 against Pittsburgh.
Take 2 out of 3 and get all the games in, and I'll be happy.
Pirates are hitting pretty well. It should be good. And then next week's All-Star Week. We'll see you at 5 a.m. Monday.
Peace.